in Tehran.
Iran has promised to retaliate following the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas political leader in Tehran 2 weeks ago. Both Iran and Hamas blame Israel for this assassination. There are concerns here in Lebanon that Hezbollah, the powerful militia backed by Iran, could also be planning a wide-scale attack on Israel in response to the assassination of a senior Hezbollah commander here in Beirut. So real concerns that an escalation of hostilities could lead to a wider regional conflict.
The BBC's Hugo Bashega in Beirut. Interviewed by Elon Musk on the X platform last night, former President Trump. He complains that Kamala Harris being treated with kid gloves by the mainstream media.
She's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania.
Mr. Trump blasting the Biden-Harris administration for the border crisis, as well as raging inflation and soaring crime. It was a 2-hour interview, and one in which the former president says Harris would not be capable of. The Trump interview started roughly 40 minutes late because of what Musk says was a cyber attack targeting his X platform. Wholesale price increases eased a bit last month, suggesting that inflation pressures are easing as the Fed moves closer to cutting interest rates. Labor Department's producer price index rising 0.1% from June to July was up 2.2% from 1 year earlier. On Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell, the Dow futures are up 104 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know, you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain. Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-511-1551. 800-511-1551.
Home Depot's second quarter sales rose slightly as the nation's biggest home improvement retailer booked gains from a recent acquisition. However, there are some storm clouds on that rosy-sounding horizon.
Despite the sales increase, customers reined in spending because of broadly higher costs and elevated interest rates. Sales edged up to $43.18 billion from $42.92 billion. However, Home Depot is now expecting sales at stores open at least a year to decline between 3 and 4%. Its previous outlook was for a decline of approximately 1%.
Correspondent Jeremy House. A Japanese business executive detained in Myanmar for more than a month has been released. Hiroshi Kasamatsu, director of a supermarket chain in Myanmar, was arrested June 30th, allegedly ignored government price controls on the sale of rice. He was released after being convicted and sentenced to a year in prison. It's not clear whether he'll stay in Myanmar or go back to Japan. Townhall.com. The FBI has opened an investigation into the alleged hacking of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Bureau officials confirmed Monday.
An FBI spokesperson declined to elaborate on the scope of the probe or any suspects, but a report issued last week by Microsoft stated that Iranian hackers sent a, quote, spear-phishing email to an official with an unnamed presidential campaign. The FBI began the investigation in June, suspecting Iran was behind attempts to steal data from 2 U.S. presidential campaigns. Agents contacted Google, among other companies, to discuss what appeared to be a phishing effort targeting people associated with the Biden campaign. The Trump campaign said it had been hacked after reporters received copies of an internal campaign vetting document on Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, Donald Trump's running mate. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
California Governor Newsom sending letters to schools urging them to restrict smartphone use among students. South Carolina education officials about to approve guidelines restricting student phone use. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Tis Tuesday.
The second day of the rest of your life.
I don't know if y'all got to experience it, but yesterday around 5 o'clock, it just started raining for no reason.
So, New Mexico is one of the only places in the entire world that I've ever been where we experience the phenomena of sun rain.
Yeah, we got a little
bright and sunny out. You'll see like one, maybe two gray clouds, about yay big.
Yeah.
And it's just pouring.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the back porch under kind of this like awning, but it wasn't like a it was like a porous material.
Right.
So it was kind of like coming through slowly.
Yeah.
And I was just like sitting there, and they're like, only fools stay out in the rain. I'm like, it's hot. I'm enjoying this.
Not in August, they do.
That's right. This is God finally saying, here, sweat. He's sweating. He flings it back on.
He's staying out in the rain in February. Yeah, I might agree with that argument. But in August, just trying to
live it
up. Well, I remember as a kid, some of the most fun times where you got that one rainstorm and then like the drainage ditches filled up.
Oh yeah.
And you get to run around and play the ditches and everything as a kid. I did that all the time.
Exactly. It's amazing how much money in ad dollars has been spent on ad campaigns to tell kids to avoid playing in arroyos because it might storm. Which absolutely, that's great information, and kids do not play in arroyos at the risk of a storm.
I used to save my popsicle sticks from the ice cream man to make little rafts and whatnot for the storm days.
That being said, after it rains, head down to the ravine and see what happens.
Yeah.
A good split. Maybe grab yourself some galoshes.
Yeah.
Do they still sell rubber boots? Like boots that go over regular shoes?
I would think, but I haven't shopped for those in recent years, so... But I think one would...
Like, I got to imagine that there hasn't been a lot of change for down at the rubber boot factory.
Yeah.
They're still pumping out the same red and yellow, like, shoes over shoes.
Yeah.
It's got to still be the same,
I remember
right?
as a kid, they were very popular at the time, but the green version.
Ooh.
With the green, it was and they weren't green like fashion green.
No, like olive drab. Like,
yeah, like I've got to go do some utility work green.
They have the two loops on the side that would always break almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like, who's this for?
And you think, if we're like, well, it's too big without a shoe on, but if I put a shoe on, I can't get the shoe out.
I guess it just lives here now.
Yeah.
You're all taking an X-Acto knife to your galosh.
And I think I wore them like once a year. Yep. Like that one day we got a bunch of snow, and that one day, and it just turned to mud. Yeah, that was the thing. Because Maryland was the same way. We get the snow the one day. It's just usually a bit more. They're no different. We get 2 inches of snow in Maryland or in D.C. area. They act like they do here. They can't drive. They just lose their ever-loving mind. Same as here.
It is funny how every now and again that like it'll just pop into your head. Boy, I could really use some galoshes right now. Like I was thinking about Goliath.
Yes.
And when everybody was snowed in, I couldn't get my car out of the driveway, let alone down the street.
Right.
I had to walk to Walmart to get stuff for dinner for that night. And I remember putting 2 grocery bags tied around my shoes, 2 each, and that was my protection against getting my against
I think you just
foot rot.
Covered your lower half in lawn and leaf trash bags.
Grabbed a yard broom and said, "We're going for this."
And if we had like a hill on the way, you could slide down it.
Oh yeah,
one way it'd be quicker,
right?
One way would be harder. Hopefully, the way back where you're actually carrying product. That would be the easier to slide down. But anyway, my adult version of those now are my combat boots. Like, I still own my last pair of combat boots I had when I was in the Air Force.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, they build those different. Like, them boots are just as good as they were, 25 years ago when I got out.
Well, in fairness, every time you guys take them off when you're in the military, you have to put them through a 72-point inspection.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like they're not cared for.
Yeah, but there's well, I haven't done it in 25 years, but at one point there was pounds and pounds of polish and what have you on that thing. Those things look like mirrors at one point. But they're steel toe because I work flight lines, so I had to wear steel toe. And those boots are just as durable. And so once a year when we get bad weather, I don them and I'll wear them. My wife why do you still wear those? Like, because I can. And they're mine, and they were issued to me, and they're the best boots I own, and ain't nobody going to destroy these boots.
It feels like stealing wardrobe from wardrobe after working on a really terrible movie set. You're like, I'm just taking a couple of things, okay? It was a terrible experience. I'm just taking what's mine. Take some of these medals over here, these boots. I'm going to need those BDUs.
Like, you think like some of these big Marvel actors have like whole Iron Man suits sitting in a closet somewhere, or some Captain America outfit.
Positive, especially the extra cool looking ones.
What's her name? Gal Gadot's like, can I keep the Wonder Woman outfit? This would be kind of nice in my personal life. You know what I mean? Do you think they have a?
I'll put it this way. This isn't too much of a spoiler because that's actually already talked about in the trailer a little bit. But Happy makes an appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
And it's Happy in the office. So but in this one scene, there's so many little Easter eggs, like all over the back. He's just got like one of Iron Man's helmets, or the prototype shield from Captain America's prototype shield. And so there's all these. So you know that if you were in that realm, you would take as many relics as you possibly could.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch like former athletes or sports analysts, and they do their Zoom calls and stuff now, and now they got the copious amounts of their regalia behind them, football helmets and various game balls, or jerseys signed by some person of yesteryear. This would be the Marvel version. Like Iron Man's doing his whatever Zoom call, or whatever version of that's in the Marvel world, and he's just got like his old helmet sitting there, or like some knickknack from I don't know, Thanos' house or something. You know what I mean?
Just like a gauntlet, but with one jewel missing, just to be safe. And it's funny too because
that's Thanos' salt pepper shaker.
That's right.
From his house with it.
They're almost like leaning into the boys' territory a little bit, in that they're recognizing that the Avengers themselves are like a corporation.
Sure.
And like Deadpool's interviewing to be a part of the event, so it's like they're the upper echelon.
Sure. Well, Marvel in and of itself did that. With Shield and all that. And Shield went rogue. Spoiler if you haven't seen Civil War.
Come on! I was working my way up. I was going to do X2 tonight.
Sorry.
Dang it!
But Shield goes rogue, and then it's like your Shield or anti. It's the whole thing. So it's all the same.
It's all jarbled up. You can actually, fun fact for those who watch the video feed, you can go ahead and do exactly the same thing with Mike's background.
Yeah.
You just, pick out one little thing, and you're like, oh, this was.
I got all the things I said. I got the same stuff.
All his little Easter eggs. He's got the Trump coin back there. There's a Snoopy on the house.
General Lee.
Signed General Lee.
A Redskins helmet with autographs.
Ooh, a signed
General Lee with autographs.
There's a lot of autographs back there actually.
Braden Holtby bobblehead, Washington Capitals. He was the goalie when the Caps won the Stanley Cup back in 20. Then he went to Dallas. I think he's retired now. I think he's no longer an NHL player. But So, but anyway, I got all kind of.
He does a whole plethora of fun Easter eggs.
Obscure stuff back there. So, have a day. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. Barbara Gomez from Main Street Roswell joined us Friday or two ago. Just to give us an update on some of the things, farmers market, stuff like that. So we'll play that for you here. Update on some, partnerships with the county, future plans for Main Street Roswell. So we'll play that interview for you in just a few minutes. Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us in the 8 o'clock hour as they gear up for the start of the fall semester and all that good stuff. Pretty busy time over at ENMUR. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us from the Historical Society. Tonight is Heritage Dinner.
Oh.
So if you bought Heritage Dinner tickets as we honor Troy Hayes, and we may have Mr. Hayes join us on the phone during that 9 o'clock hour interview as well, too. But yeah, we'll just talk a little bit about Heritage Dinner, talk about Troy Hayes, and remind folks, you got dinners, you got to go get them tonight, or get them, or if you got the delivery, someone's going to be knocking on your door about 5:30, 6 o'clock tonight with food. So take it. Let them in.
Put your dogs away.
That's right. Let them in. They've got good things for you. But anyway, so we'll talk all that here in the 9 o'clock hour. But Foist, let's take a look at your weather. If you like hot, where they tease you with a little rain from time to time, then this is your best week ever.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very low rain chances over the next few days. Sunny and hot today. We're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high. Might be a little bit breezy. Overnight clear and low to mid 70s, and then about the same for Wednesday, although we do have a slim chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We'll stay around 100 for the afternoon high and sunny. We're getting sunshine again on Thursday with low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 55% with winds out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. Sunny, and as Steve mentioned, 99. Well, we're going to be pushing 100 today, but maybe not officially hit it, so call that a win. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Like you said, little chances of rain, but tonight's one of them. A 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy, overnight low 73 with southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny and 101 for a high for Wednesday. Winds out of the south, 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. Overnight low 73. South winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny and 102. Southwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, also a high of 102. Saturday, sunny, 103. Sunday, sunny, 103. And then when you head back to work and school next week, Monday, 102 and sunny. So it's going to be hot. 1 for the rest of the week. Today, kind of the cool one, 99. And then we do have a slight chance that we could see some rain showers this afternoon. Do your rain dances. Hopefully we'll make that happen. All right, 7:17. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute break. That includes your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten. Then on the other side, we'll play our interview with Barbara Gomez from Main Street Roswell. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,071 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to higher market with excellent buyer tenants. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold 3 to 8 higher, feeder cattle steady to 3 higher, packer cows and bulls $3 to $5 higher, 3 to 400 pound steers $358 $408, 3 to 400 pound heifers $296 $365, 4 to 500 pound steers $301 $358, 4 to 500 pound heifers $267 $296, 5 to 600 pound steers $260 $301, 5 to 600 pound heifers $241 $267, 6 700 pound steers $239 $260, 6 700 pound heifers $223 $241, 7 800 pound steers $236 $239, 7 800 pound heifers $209 $223, packer cows $137 $148, canner and cutter cows $125 $134, packer bulls $170 $179, feeder bulls $160 $166, top half the cow calf pairs $2,400 to $2,900 per pair, top half the bred cows $1,700 to $2,450 per head. Let's all pray for some rain. Talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra is warming up for season number 66, and you can be a part of this historic season. The RSO is offering a preseason special for new season ticket holders now through Friday, August 23rd for the 2024-2025 season. Just log on to roswellsymphonyorchestra.org and click the Early Bird Special tab to get a great deal on your season tickets. The first Roswell Symphony event of the season is coming up October 12th, so head for roswellsymphonyorchestra.org to get tickets for season 66 of the Roswell Symphony Orchestra.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Are bugs eating your garden and mosquitoes chasing you back in the house? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is John from Roswell Seed. You know, we've been battling bugs in Roswell since 1898. And if Jim was here, he'd draw on his immense knowledge and send you home with the right stuff. Chase the bugs out of your garden and the mosquitoes out of your yard.
Don't give the bugs a head start. Head for Roswell Seed Company and find out, what would Jim Gill do?
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
Studio this morning. And good morning. It is closing in on 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Main Street, Roswell, Barbara Gomez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Hey, I'm better. You know,
better?
It's taken a whole month to
get over
the UFO Festival. Well, you know, you have this mad rush to get it done.
Sure.
It happens, and it's busy the whole weekend.
Well, it was a big success. I didn't hear anything negative. Everybody had a good time.
I think overall we had good, positive feedback.
Everybody claimed they had good turnouts at their various events around, whether it was Galacticon or downtown or
and we've heard positive things. Even the UFO Museum reported an increase of like over 5% increase at the museum, and they always have a huge turnout. So we kind of try to gauge.
They're probably the best measure because everyone goes there at some point or another.
Yeah, and they really keep track of numbers.
Sure.
But we've done our own type of just, doing surveys with vendors, with merchants, with the overall community. They did surveys for us. And so we're reviewing those right now.
Excellent.
But
the numbers are looking good.
I think the numbers are looking good. As far as the positives and negatives, I think the positives are outweighing the negatives. Mm-hmm. So that feels good. We did get a few recommendations and said, maybe you should do this next year or that next year. And so if you can believe it or not, we had our after action meeting with the Roswell, the UFO committee. Mm-hmm. And we talked about what we want to do for next year and how that's going to look. So we're already moving ahead on it. We're trying to start early this time, not give us 5 months, but maybe a little bit longer than 5 months.
Excellent.
So, anyway.
And anytime you have a major event like this, that's what you do. Mm-hmm. Is the good things you enhance, and then the things that didn't work out so well, you try to find different ways to do
solutions.
that. And that's true with any event. So that's normal. That's
and you can't make everybody happy, but you try to make as many people happy as you can. Sure. If it's feasible to make changes, that's
and
what
that's
you do
the whole
with
thing. We always try to get better and better each year, and so this will be things to work on for next year's UFO Fest.
And a big thank you to the community of Roswell, Mike. There isn't a time whenever we haven't reached out to somebody, everyone from NIMI, to Ken Burton, to people here in the community. They help us out with whatever we need.
Sure.
We had great sponsors this year, and we even had people donate in kind for our volunteers, because we get a lot of volunteers that help us out during this time. Mm-hmm. So, you have the Apisa Center, and, they go by kind of a different name that I don't usually use, but they're called Kappa Torotos Apisa Center. I hope I'm saying that.
I just always say a pizza center.
Yeah, I always call it a pizza center. But they sent us over so much pizza to thank us, and it was all so good.
They got great food, pizzas, or what do you got? Their pasta or anything else?
Yeah, they do
good?
Pasta and other type things over there. But there isn't a time I haven't walked in there and said, is it possible for you guys to help us with something that they haven't done it? But right now they're featuring their Chicago deep dish pizza.
Yeah, that's their Chicago style pizza.
Yeah,
that's their
deep stuff.
signature.
So if you like that, make sure you can go by and see them right here on Main Street, right across the street from the SunWest Bank building.
Yeah.
Then we have Martine's Capital Cafe that's down the street right here on 4th Street. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a staple here in Roswell.
I would call it almost a legacy business for Main Street.
I agree with you.
As long as I've been in Roswell, which has been 20, 24, 21, 25 years now, Martine's has always been just the place people, and to this day, that's my favorite place for Huevos Rancheros in town.
That's right.
Go to Martine's.
It's fantastic. Not only that, I mean, one of my oldest son worked there as a busboy way back when.
Okay.
And when we come to town,
it's generational here.
He still wants to go to Martine's. Everybody has to stop to Martine's, whether you're coming home for college, coming home to visit,
a
going
taste of home
town,
kind of thing.
Kind of a taste of home. That's correct. So we do thank our Main Street businesses, but specifically Martine's Capital Cafe sent us over a huge tray of tacos for the volunteers.
Awesome.
So thank you, Martine's Capital Cafe.
So volunteers are eating well, thanks to Pizza Center and Martine's.
A lot of people, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's just get on to what's going on downtown. As you guys know, we got done with the UFO Festival, and it was a great event. It's nice and warm right now. We were kind of hoping it'd cool down, but Mike's telling us it's going to continue to be
Unfortunately, I don't have good
hot.
news there. Sorry.
But if you're looking for something to do, the gallery on Main Street, which they're located at 223 North Main Street, they're looking for a new logo.
Yes, they're having a contest right now.
They're having a contest right now. You didn't submit your original art entry. It's a 12 by 12 in person at the gallery, or mail it to the same address. They said winner's name will be included anytime the logo is used. Deadline is August the 31st. So if you're creative and you got a great idea for the gallery, let them know.
And that's a community art space there. They go see their artists, their resident artists. If you're into art or wanting to purchase art or just want to do art, you need to visit that place and talk to the folks in there.
You definitely do. Yep. And so they got a lot of things going on there. But just to kind of highlight some of the businesses down Main Street, of course, always have Sweet Baby J's right there on the corner of 4th and Main. They have delicious desserts and cakes.
Sweet treats. Yeah.
Lots of sweet treats. And so anyway, just most recently, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly, you guys. The Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation held the annual gala for 2024. And so they honored a lot of people, a number of people, but I do want to talk about a few people that happen to be on the Main Street.
Some of our Main Street honorees or award winners.
Honorees. Yes, award winners. So the best of Chaves County dessert did go to Sweet Baby J's.
Well,
so if
see,
you're
not
looking,
only
do
we're not lying. We're not. See, proof we're not lying to you. Other people agree. So.
Yeah, so it was by popular vote.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gone by there to get something from them, it is a delicious place. Also, another place which is kind of a local hangout as well is Pepper's Bar and Grill.
Pepper's is a staple in Roswell.
That's
we
right.
talk about Legacy and Martine's. Pepper's is very much that same thing, and you know, Pepper's Friday nights on the patio is kind of a tradition. And
I think they're doing it on Wednesdays as well, possibly. So
and of course their food is always a hit, no matter. And they support so many local communities, charities,
they
businesses.
Absolutely do.
You know, I know pretty much every historical society event we've got Pepper's as our
as our caterer.
Yeah, as our caterer, as our food provider. You know, now that they've kind of changed the rules of the convention center, you're seeing Pepper's more and more catering events back there again. They're just kind of the unofficial
caterer
feeder of Roswell sometimes. Yeah.
So congratulations to Adam, to Robert. You know, congratulations to those guys. They're great. We really appreciate them.
Absolutely.
And also a business that's somewhat new to the Main Street District is Pecos Valley Productions.
Yes. They're very community active,
very community oriented, and they have supported Main Street's events since they came onto the main, to the main district.
Yeah.
So they also received an award as, I guess, a new business in town.
Well,
so
and they've gone big. They're very community minded, and obviously, with the nature of their business, there's certain things they're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So they really focus on that community efforts and giving back to the community and working into the community. And so they are a great partner.
They're a great partner in our town,
absolutely.
and we do appreciate them.
Absolutely.
And I know there was a lot of others. I just wanted to highlight the ones
that
were
were
specifically
Main Street
in the district.
Yeah.
And of course, I heard you talking about the farmers market. We're back to the farmers market.
Full blown every Saturday morning.
Full blown.
7 a.m.
Gosh, you guys, if you have not been out there, I was out there this last weekend because I've been out of town. Seemed like every weekend since the UFO, but I was there.
Little R&R after UFO.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit of family.
Now your husband's R&R idea and your R&R might not be the same, but that's another debate for another day.
That's another conversation for another day.
That's right.
Yeah. Whenever I walk miles and in the hot sun, and my husband takes me on vacation to the hottest place on earth.
Right.
Not exactly what I want.
I think you missed the mark on that one a little bit.
A little bit.
That's all right.
But that's okay.
You got to see a cool thing.
Yeah, we did some really cool things. So anyway, the farmers market started July the 13th.
Yeah.
And the plan is for it to go until October the 12th.
Okay.
People are still calling me, Mike, asking me, can I be out there?
Is there still space?
Is there still space? And this year, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but they've really expanded almost all the way past the middle of the courthouse lawn.
Yeah.
I mean, they're expanding. So many people are going out there. They're becoming very creative. You know, they're doing flavored lemonades. Of course, they always have the burritos out there.
Absolutely.
Not the food trucks, but actually cooking
Sure.
on the spot.
Local merchants, they're doing their things. And of course, the star of the show, produce. We've got all of our farmer and gardeners and
watermelons and cantaloupes. And
I'll tell you, as I do it every time we talk about it, if you're there for produce, be there at 7. When the doors open at 7 and everything else, and usually it's pretty quiet right at 7. It's usually about 8 o'clock when everyone starts saying, oh yeah, we got to get up and get going.
Right.
So I highly recommend, if you're on the hunt for great produce, be there at 7 a.m. when the thing officially opens, and you're going to have pick of the litter, and you have a great selection and a great opportunity. If you wait till 11 o'clock, your selection's going to be picked through. It is what it is.
It is what
it's
it is.
It's a popular
You're right.
thing, and people come out and people enjoy it. And so now, that being said, don't let that stop you, because there's still great food, there's still great activities. But if you're like specifics, like, no, I need my green chili or I need my whatever,
Right.
you
Tomatoes,
get there early.
okra. I mean, they have so many different things out there, including some homemade chicharrones, in case you like that.
Absolutely.
Homemade jellies. There's candles out there, jewelry.
Or maybe your family doesn't do those things and you always want to do them, so now you go to the farmer's market and let others do it because you don't know how or whatever.
You know, it's a little bit different than going to a regular a regular event, you know, where you're going to have a lot of food trucks, a lot of different vendors that are selling things that are, you know, T-shirts that they bought somewhere. This is all more homemade.
Yeah, more local.
So people call me all the time, and I send them over to Peggy.
Yeah, Peggy is the kind of the marshal of all of the
she's the farmers market guru.
Yeah.
She knows all the rules, what's allowed.
She's the one who designates who goes where and who gets to do, and she's the keeper of the
and to make sure, you know, that you know, if you can use, you know, your whatever those little bucks are that you can use.
Yeah.
Not food stamps, whatever they're doing now.
EBT or whatever it is. Yeah.
Or whatever. And so she makes sure that we meet the rules so that we are able to get funding.
Stay in compliance with all that.
Yes,
stay
there.
So they can. So if you do EBT and all that, there are vendors that accept that.
They are. So
excellent.
Anyway, but that's farmers market. And as we're moving on the year, we're still working on what we're going to do with the rest of the year, Mike. We'd like to review our events to make sure that they're still relevant for us to keep doing.
Sure.
Or maybe tweak them a little bit and see what we're going to do. But I do want to tell you about a couple of things that are coming up in the district that you'll be seeing. Hopefully by next year, they'll be up and ready to go.
Okay.
But specifically, Main Street Roswell partnered up with Chaves County, and we are working on a Great Blocks project.
Yeah.
This project is going to be called the Chaves County Cultural Plaza.
It's pretty cool when it's all said and done.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, it's going to be really cool. So basically, Main Street Roswell applied for a grant, received some money. We partnered up with Chaves County, and the Cultural Plaza will be located going east off of Virginia. So where the parking lot is at, right past that, there will be a plaza there.
Okay.
It is going to be really cool. It's still going to have the railroad motif to it. But it'll have trees, it will have grass, it'll have tables, it'll have a stage, sound system,
it's
bathroom.
kind of a built-in community space.
Built community space.
With amenities and with abilities if you want to have concerts, if you want to have events.
Maybe in an art show of some sort.
And who knows, maybe this is the evolution of farmers market and things like that, where we shift it from the courthouse lawn to the cultural plaza.
Maybe, and I think
it's a potential. You know,
it is a potential with lots of parking.
Yeah,
this is what I like.
What the thing is this logistically would allow us to provide more and do more,
right,
at farmers market and events like this.
Sure,
and quite frankly, let's face it, the courthouse lawn's a beautiful thing, and we love using it, we love utilizing it, but it is kind of expensive, that grass and taking care of it. And every time we have events on there, that's a big expense to maintain that.
That is.
And if we can shift some of that to this cultural area, maybe not all of it, but some of it, maybe that's another win-win.
But it's a great thought to do, because if you're having an event, you know, like if you do something on the courthouse lawn and you like to really count people or measure who all came in, you really, really can't, because there is no entrance and
this
exit.
will have portals of entry, so you could control it like a festival and decide who's in and who's out, or just let it open if you need be.
Sure.
But it allows for that.
It allows for that. So you can count people if you wanted to have an event where you charge it at the door. you can do that there. So we're really excited about it.
Sure. And then when there's no events going, it's just a community space. You can come and picnic or just spend the afternoon in the park.
Actually, no, it's not going to be open for that, Mike.
Oh, it's not?
Actually going to be open for that. So you could use the courthouse lawn for that.
Okay.
That specific area will be a locked area.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean,
okay.
they really
wanted.
wanted
to be more like
no,
a park.
It's not a park at all. It's actually a cultural plaza.
Gotcha.
Like I said, you want to use it, just talk to the county.
Gotcha.
They do have some rules.
And then there'll be some
it.
at the county that you book it like a party or something like that.
Book it or whatever. They've been very generous with Main Street and the community with these areas, and so they normally don't charge anything. They just have rules.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Don't have jumpies on there with a bunch of mud to ruin the grass.
Sure. Yeah. Things to ensure and maintain and keep it. Keep it. It's just like anything else. Anything is a community space. We as a community are obligated to take care of it.
That's right.
It's no different than when you go to the city splash pads or something. They want you to take care of them. You go to a city park.
Because you're not the only one that'll use them. Somebody else will use them.
And they'll be no different here.
So we're also working with the city of Roswell on what's called a wayfinding plan.
Okay.
This has been around, Mike, since 2016. So,
right.
The city puts together master plans and, plans for what we want to do in the future. And this was created in 2016. So it's a way of directing people, showing them the way to different things.
Gotcha.
Wayfinding.
Gotcha.
And so one of the big things that we're working on with the engineering department right now is gateways. We want to put gateways on Main Street.
Kind of being an actual physical marker definition defining the Main Street corridor. So,
right.
Because most people don't realize Main Street corridor is more than just Main Street. It's a few blocks on either side, and it goes from, probably farther north and farther south than most people realize.
Right.
And these gateways will kind of delineate. Now you're officially entering the Main Street district.
And that's kind of what we'd like to do. And so those are things we're working on right now. We know we got a couple of grants and we got some money and we thought, yay, so exciting. We're going to have two of them. And it's a big, giant, stop, wait a second. This costs more than what we thought. So then we're going to have to ask for more money or whatever we need to do.
Anytime there's government involved, these things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you find out about costs that you had no idea about. Like I'm thinking, oh, wow, we're staying under budget. And then I find out, Barbara, the engineering costs have not been added yet.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, is cost of living and then COVID expenses. And so you have something in the works. And then 3 years later, it's completely outdated because all the prices are different. So,
I mean, exactly. I mean, I helped out with the Kiwanis All-Inclusive Park. And when we started, from the time we got it done to the time it started and the time we got done, I just remember hearing, Barbara, that's not enough money. You're going to get a little teeny, rinky-dink park with that amount of money. You need more money. And so went after more money for that. And
then you get more money. It's like, now you need more money because that money went.
So hurry up and do it.
Right.
Just hurry up and do it.
See, if you did this 3 years ago, that would have been enough. But now it's not. So now you need more money. So that's kind of what people are dealing with in these kind of things. Yeah.
So, but it's exciting because, you guys, we're working on Main Street Roswell all the time to figure out ways to make our Main Street district a place where people want to come shop, not just tourists, but locals. Some of you have not stopped down Main Street in a really long time, and I think you should. We've got Tiny Trends over here on the south, South 100 block. They've got kids' clothes.
Yeah.
We have a brand new place that just opened up right there next to Ancient of Days. They're going to be, I can't remember what they call those, Mike. Now I'm trying to think. It's kind of one of those places that you go into and have to figure out how to get out of or something.
Like an escape room or something?
Yes, escape room.
Okay.
That's what it's called. It's not completely up and going.
Okay.
But I did talk to the guys that are going to be running that, and it's going to be really cool because they have these throughout Texas.
Excellent.
And now they're going to do one in Roswell with more of an alien theme to it.
And that'll serve both the tourists and locals.
Yeah.
That'll be because people look for things to do downtown. Obviously, tourists hit the thing, and, locals aren't going to want to go to the museum every day because, been there, done that.
Got that
T-shirt. But these are things you can do. Come shop. Like I said, come eat. We got great dining establishments, whether you want a cup of coffee at Stellar or lunch or breakfast or dinner at Pepper's or Martine's or El Toro Bravo or many of the other great establishments downtown. And then, like you said, in between, you hit the shops and shop, and you walk. And if you're looking for clothing, if you're looking for decor,
T-shirts, you're looking for
collectibles, whatever.
If you're looking for a gift, I mean, you can find some great gifts downtown. And then they're not all alien based. And by the way, I'm glad you said Stellar. You know what they did for us during the UFO that I thought was awesome. Anne is always very appreciative of what we do, and
another
always community minded.
Yeah.
And so she opened at the back end of Stellar, and she put ice cold water back there and tea, and invited any volunteer to go back there and take a break.
Oh, that's awesome.
And a lot of us...
Your decompression zone there.
Yeah, kind of just a little bit away off the Main Street drag right there, coming in from their backside. But they have wonderful breakfast. If you've not had their breakfast or sandwiches...
they do have more than drinks. They do have great meals and sandwiches.
Of course, right next to them is, of course, the Moon Rock Outfitters.
Mm-hmm.
And in case you didn't know what Outfitters are, you might want to stop in there and see. They do bikes. They do skateboards. They coordinate bike rides. So if you have a bike and you say, I would love to go bike riding, but I don't want to go by myself.
Meet with people that do those.
Yeah, they meet somewhere, and
that.
Sometimes they do like a little pub run where they go different places to grab a drink, and other times they're just seeing Roswell.
That's cool.
So
and that's all in your Main Street corridor, right downtown.
Right
you just
downtown,
walk around, you stumble into it.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, Mike. So we just invite the locals of Roswell to please take some time to come by downtown. Right now our focus is community as tourists, because sometimes our community doesn't see what the tourists see.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could see some of the feedback that I received from from people that completed the survey, many of them say, gosh, you got a gem here in Roswell. You guys have a beautiful community. And I mean, just look at the rocket that we just put on the Pioneer Plaza.
Yeah.
If you guys did not go to the opening ceremony for that, it's right there, right in front of the courthouse lawn. Just today, I saw people out there taking pictures.
Oh, yeah.
But
matter of fact, if you're going over to Martine's this morning, you can't miss it. It's right there.
You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Go to Martine's.
That's right. It's right there in Pioneer Plaza.
Then go get a picture. Then go get across the street and get a cookie.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Chisholm statue right there in the plaza.
Yeah.
So,
but great job that Josh did. So a big thank you to Josh for all the work he put into that.
And I love that because that's going to, especially for people that have called Roswell home their whole life or been here a long time, they know they know the origin of that. They know that was the slide. That how many kids, generations burned their legs on that slide at the
It never
Spring
stopped
River.
them, Mike.
Oh,
it never
we
stopped
did
anybody.
It. We did it. And then finally, it was early 2000s where that thing
think
down.
So.
It was because it was up when I got here in 2000.
Yeah.
It wasn't around much longer, but I remember taking family to that slide and climbing up in there myself and burning my legs and going down the slide.
You just have to go down fast, right?
Exactly.
Because it was all full metal, right?
Yeah, it was old school metal. Yeah, it was. OSHA standards were a little different back when that thing was constructed.
And, fall into a pile of dirt at the bottom. Nothing really. But no, I sent a picture to my son that lives in Albuquerque and all my sons, and I sent it to them. And I said, "Look at this. This is your memories turned into art."
Yeah,
I mean that's what it is. So
I hope
it's
there for generations to come, and they'll ask, "What's that?" And we get to tell them, "That used to be a slide in the zoo in the Spring River Park there."
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was Peppermint Park back then.
It was called Peppermint Park back in those days.
Peppermint Park back then.
Good.
But anyway, other than that, Mike, I don't have a lot going on that I want to talk about today because we do want to go ahead.
Yeah, I did want to ask for volunteers and serving on the board.
Oh, yeah,
can you still use those kind of
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
We're always in search of volunteers. Part of our initiative with Main Street Roswell is to include the community. So if you're looking for something to do, maybe you would like to help direct Main Street in which direction we should go. We are always looking for board members.
Absolutely.
There is, a vetting process.
Yeah. Obviously, if you are a business owner in the Main Street corridor, you have a very vested interest in wanting to see your Main Street.
Yeah.
And not only would I recommend, but you should be active because at the end of the day, the Main Street owners and stuff, they're kind of the ones that kind of dictate
they should. They should help
what
to
the
dictate.
vibe is downtown and what they want it to be. And
so we do have a stakeholder meeting once a month, and they were always before they were held in person. Then after COVID, it kind of became a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, virtual stuff.
And it's been kind of hard to pull people out of their Zoom area. They just want to just stay in there.
I get it. Because
I don't either.
We all do. It's like, it's bad but good.
Yeah.
Because it's so convenient. But at the same time, it's not nearly as productive.
No, not really. And plus, you get to know your neighbors, and they get to know each other. And they give each other information and keep themselves
It's
updated.
a neighborhood meeting. It should be happening
really
with face-to-face in a neighborhood.
I think you're right. I kind of like that. The Main Street neighborhood meeting.
Yeah.
And they're called stakeholders. So if you're on the Main Street corridor, you have a stake in what happens.
Absolutely.
If you would like to be a board member, you don't have to be in the corridor. We'd like you to be in the corridor.
It does,
but, if not, we have people that are not.
People that live outside the corridor or work outside the corridor have good ideas too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you don't want to, You know, you don't want to direct anything. You just want to help at an event.
Sure.
Every once in a while.
Absolutely.
You can be a volunteer. So give us a call.
Sure. They're always looking for a stable of people, like when UFO Fest happens or Chili Cheese or any of our downtown Main Street events happen. There's an army of volunteers that are needed to set up tents and water or whatever is needed logistically. And if you can at least, put in the pool there and say, hey, I'd love to be in that pool. And, there's perks for it. UFO Festival volunteers get swag.
Yeah, you get swag.
Get
and some
access.
fun
A lot of free food there.
Free food.
Thanks to our merchants here.
Yeah.
So there is perks to that. But that's what makes Main Street go. It's volunteers. It's people getting involved. With none of that, we're all spinning our wheels. Sitting here doing stuff. Right. So get involved, serve on the board, volunteer to, I know they have great volunteer groups that love planning at certain times of the year, the flower and garden clubs.
We do the planting.
The planters and stuff.
Around Christmas time, at Christmas time, we decorate the light poles.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we do, so please join us. And again, a big thank you to the community at large that stepped up to help us, like Keep Chaves County Beautiful. They helped us with trash. Of course, the city also helped us a lot with all of that.
They've got their accoutrement with the bags and everything, and they collect stats so to keep getting more free stuff.
They give little pins to what Miss Rita calls, I think she calls them trash rangers. She thanks anyone that helps her to pick up trash because that's her passion. Roswell Volunteer, or is it RSVP? Roswell Senior Volunteer Program.
Another great organization.
They brought their volunteers out there and helped us sell things, helped us to set up the tents, helped us to take down tents. So, if you don't want to deal with money, you don't have to. There's a lot of other physical things.
Got a lot of labor we can get.
Somebody pick this up and move it over there.
That's right.
That kind
Sweat
of thing.
equity is muchly needed. So But get involved and come to the stakeholder meetings. If you're certainly if you're a stakeholder and have an interest, you need to be a part of that because let's face it. When Barbara comes and visits all the merchants and she's checking in on you and you fill her in with this information and then she's just learning of it. It's like, why didn't you share that at a meeting so we can talk about
so
that?
We could all
and
talk
address
about
it and fix it here and deal with it. And so that's what these meetings are for. So everyone's on the same page. And the Main Street corridor really is a family of businesses. They look out for each other. They network. If there's a rash of something wrong in the community, they spread the word to warn each other and tell each other and keep everybody in the loop. It is a very well knit community, the Main Street corridor of the businesses.
They do, and some of the Main Street stakeholders did join the UFO committee and brought in some of their ideas.
Awesome.
And even supported, what we were working
on.
We
need more of that.
And, we did local newspaper thank yous. And here, on your station, Mike, we did advertisement to, talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
But we just have a lot of wonderful things going on. And if you're thinking, I've got a great idea, how about not put it on Facebook? How about you call me?
Absolutely.
How about you call me and say, hey, Barbara, I've got this great idea.
Absolutely.
I mean, even sitting here in your office, Mike, one of your employees here, Roy, said, hey, Barbara, what about that idea I had for the UFO festival?
Yeah.
And he had a great idea that I'm going to take it to the rest of the group and see what they feel
Run up
about
the flagpole.
That's right. Run it up and see what people think. But
Absolutely.
again,
but get involved. They're looking for people to do. And that's, to be honest, I think you look at some, like folks like Peggy and these other great volunteers that you have that are a part of this. You know how they all got started? They just got involved one day. They showed up and said they were interested, and here we sit. And that's all it takes is for you just to say, I want to get involved. I want to be a part of this. And there's more than enough stuff we can find for you to get involved.
Right. But we have civic organizations out there, Mike, that always step up and help as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
But this is another little plug that I'm going to do a Kiwanis plug really quick here. You know how we always have the All Civics Luncheon?
Absolutely.
Well, this year we've kind of changed it.
Okay.
So this year it's going to be the All Civics, what did we call it? Celebration, dessert, and dance.
Okay.
We haven't had one of those in a few years, since COVID. It's kind of been, so we decided we wanted to pull everybody out, not just civic organizations, because coincidentally, the Sertoma Club of Roswell was a huge sponsor of the UFO Festival.
Awesome.
They're a civics group, but they were a huge sponsor. So this will give you your opportunity, whether you are with many hands, whether you're a health organization, whether you do something for the community. It's more community-minded people that we want to recognize. But we don't want to make it all a bunch of blah, blah, blah talking.
Sure.
What we want to make it is dinner. Yeah. Some great dessert
cut a rug and
some live music. So you'll be hearing more about that as we go on.
Okay, excellent. But that's kind of what we're looking here. So And again, this is more of that networking and learning and getting those nonprofits and getting your message out there too. That's what these are. I mean, as much as we're dancing and having fun, it is getting your message out there and getting more people
and honoring at least one person in your club that has been outstanding.
And then showing some love to those people that's fortunately or unfortunately, doesn't matter. Most of these people would never seek these kinds of attentions. They just go do it, and they would go unnoticed unless we put the spotlight on them. And some of them don't like it, but you know what? You deserve it anyway. It's just you
deserve it. And
when
Mike,
you do good things, people need to know that.
Yeah, and Mike, you need to make sure your veterans groups are there as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, we want to include everybody.
Yeah,
so please
get
make
them all.
sure.
VFW and American Legion, Chaves County veterans, all the above. Get on out there.
Get on out there, you guys. It's a good time to let people know who you are and recognize at least one person, and let us know what one project that you're working on or worked on before that didn't get recognized because of what was going on with COVID and everything else. So
absolutely.
Anyway,
got to play a little catch up there.
Yeah, a little catch up. And by the way, you can find us at mainstreetroswell.org. That's our website. My phone number is 575-914-8017.
Yeah.
You can always call the radio station. I'm sure Mike can direct you.
We can get you there. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about here, don't hesitate to reach out. If you're looking for, even if you're having questions about moving into the corridor, please reach out to Main Street Roswell.
We have some open businesses.
Barbara can help you put you in touch with some real estate and various openings in town, things like that. If you're looking, any of that kind of stuff, please reach out to Main Street Roswell. Even if, say, you're bands and stuff and want to, say, put us on your radar for your next events and things,
that would
please
be
reach out to that too.
Yeah.
So when the next festival happens, she's not scouring. She's got a list of bands that are ready and willing to say, you know what, I want to be a part of this and sign us up kind of thing. So reach out.
A lot going on, but thank you all. Give us a call.
And Q, and don't work too hard, and we'll see you next time, if not sooner.
Thank you, Mike.
You go someplace cool now.
I know. Have a good weekend.
Go find a nice, maybe hit Stellar, get a nice iced coffee. Or something.
That's a good idea.
Something to get you out of the Moab heat.
All right. My cool vacation.
That's right. She's got to cool off. Weirdly enough, a lot of cold soups. I don't think you've ate hot food in a week. So just kidding. Yeah. It is 9:50. Let's pause for news, your Hannity update, Cowboys report. Can't believe we're already getting to that season. And then a quick break as well. Don't go away.
Is arrested and jailed after being accused of firing gunshots at a local prosecutor's home. Tracy Demery has a long rap sheet dating back to 2002 for things like forgery, car theft, and tampering with evidence. He was out of jail on bond in a 2022 possession case when court documents say back this past February he drove to the prosecutor's home and fired through her fence toward her home. Police said Demery admitted to the shooting because he feels like the prosecutor has a conflict of interest because she's married to his probation officer. The New Mexico Environment Department is withdrawing a $1.2 million fine against El Paso Water as part of a lawsuit settlement, according to a news release from El Paso's water utility. In 2022, the State Environment Department issued the fine and 2 administrative compliance orders claiming that EP Water violated portions of the state's surface and groundwater protection regulations. The utility, it claimed, discharged raw sewage into the Rio Grande. The company contends that it did so due to a catastrophic failure of its pipeline system to prevent wastewater from inundating homes, businesses, streets, and in an effort to protect the public health. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
When my niece was little, I asked her a question. If a police officer came by at soccer practice and told you that your mom was in a car accident and you needed to go with him to the hospital, would you? Without hesitation, she said, "Of course." I'm Kim Commando for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Accelerate your AI workload today. Take a free test drive at oracle.com/Kim. Now, of course, I explained to her that anyone can buy a police officer's uniform on the internet. And now it's back to school season, and you're posting your kids' first day photos. But you're sharing more than pictures. You're giving away details. This makes it too easy for some creep to learn that little Julia is a 3rd grader at Brown Elementary. Face it, AI and social media has made it too easy for the bad guys. They can clone your voice from a video that you posted, call the school, pretend to be you, and the next thing you know, they're picking up your kid for a fake dentist appointment. It's scary, but true. And that's why you always need to be tech ahead and not tech left behind. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very low rain chances over the next few days. Sunny and hot today. We're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high. Might be a little bit breezy. Overnight clear and low to mid 70s, and then about the same for Wednesday, although we do have a slim chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We'll stay around 100 for the afternoon high and sunny. We're getting sunshine again on Thursday with low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. If the U.S. Federal Reserve does not start cutting interest rates relatively soon, U.S. consumers could become dispirited. That's according to Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan. At the end of July, the Fed kept the policy rate in the same 5.25% to 5.5% range it has been for more than a year. Middle and low-income U.S. families now have significantly fewer liquid resources like bank deposits than they were on track to have before the disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic, creating financial strains that pose a risk to consumer spending. Concerns over a wider conflict in the Middle East have prompted international airlines to suspend flights to the region. Airlines are saying the safety of the customers and crews is absolute priority. Oil prices jumped by more than 3% on Monday, rising for a fifth consecutive session on expectations of widening Middle Eastern conflicts that could tighten global crude oil supplies. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla Espanol.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is coming up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Is another member of the congressional squad about to get the boot? We'll soon find out. It's primary day in Minnesota.
Progressive Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar, a sharp critic of how Israel has conducted the war in Gaza, is trying to avoid the fate of two of her closest allies in the squad who lost their primaries. She's defending her Minneapolis area 5th district seat against a repeat challenge from former city council member Don Samuels. In Minnesota's main statewide race on the ballot, conservative populist and former NBA player Royce White facing a more conventional GOP candidate, Navy veteran Joe Frazier. The winner will challenge Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar. I'm Julie Walker.
The world is on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop, anticipating an Iranian attack on Israel and then Israel's response. Elon Musk says it was a cyber attack that delayed his interview with former President Trump on X last night. Once the interview did get underway about 40 minutes late, Mr. Trump blasted Vice President Harris for her stand on Israel and the Palestinians.
He's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, both sides. That was a hard thing to do, unification. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is a very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined.
Mr. Trump planning a return to Butler, Pennsylvania for a rally in October. Ernesto, the name of the latest tropical storm that has formed out in the Atlantic, expected to be moving toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico later today. Rally underway on Wall Street this morning. The Dow is up about 155 points, the Nasdaq ahead 232, and the S&P trading 47 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Authorities in Africa on the verge of declaring a public health emergency in response to a new outbreak of the highly infectious disease Mpox. The BBC's Simi Jalawasho says the Democratic Republic of Congo is ground zero for the outbreak.
Doctors have been alarmed by the speed at which the new strand of Mpox, known as Clade 1b, has spread. The infection jumps between people through close contact and causes lesions and flu-like symptoms, but can be fatal. Cases have surged in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with 27,000 since last year and more than 1,000 deaths. The disease has also spread to Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, and the Central African Republic.
Firefighters in Greece getting a handle on a major wildfire. It's burned into the northern suburbs of Athens, triggering evacuations, leaving at least one person dead. Strong winds that had fanned the flames until yesterday are now dying down. News and analysis at townhall.com. The bipartisan House panel investigating the Trump assassination attempt is getting down to business.
Representatives Mike Kelly and Jason Crow, the task force chair and top Democrat respectively, sent a Monday letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe Jr., as well as separate letters to Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Christopher Wray. They requested any documents or records that have already been handed over to the House and Senate. Kelly and Crow are also requesting the FBI, DHS, Secret Service, and DOJ provide a staff briefing to review the responses to Congress so far and to discuss the task force's priorities with respect to documents and information moving forward. The briefing, they add, should be scheduled as soon as possible, but no later than August 16th, 2024. In Washington, I'm Bernie Bennett.
Come November, voters in Arizona will be deciding whether to add the right to an abortion up to about 24 weeks to the state's constitution. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Los Dos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Heritage Dinner Tuesday.
Yes, yes it is.
Historical Site of Southeast New Mexico.
Hope you got your tickets.
Yep, Heritage Dinner Night as we honor Troy Hayes and his work that he does with so many in this community. We'll talk more next hour. We'll have Amy and join us on the La Radio to talk more about that next hour. But yeah, if you did get your Heritage Dinner tickets, tonight's the night. You'll go out to the Historical Society, pick up your ticket, official ticket, and then take it over to Peppers and pick up your delightfully delicious dinner tonight.
So good.
Yeah, I got something to look forward to. You got good dinner night. And then, of course, if you did get the box meal deliveries, then be expecting someone knocking on your door around 5:36 this evening here with them.
If you're ever looking, if you're ever out and about on an evening, you're looking for maybe the best meal in Roswell. I mean, dollar for dollar. The chicken/steak au poivre from Pepper's Grill and Bar is maybe the best experience culinarily I've ever had in this town.
It's pretty good. And by the way, if you got a Heritage Dinner meal tonight, one of the entrees is chicken au poivre.
That's why I bring it up, because that au poivre sauce is a cognac, peppercorn, and there's a ton of other like ingredients with capers and lemon. It's
secret ingredients.
It's one of the most. It hits you from all different sides. First you get the savory, and then you get the kind of the tartness of the sauce. The cognac of it all hits in, and it is one of the best culinary experiences I've ever had.
Well, I'll have half of one tonight.
I'll have whatever he had.
Well, when Kim and I we do the meals, so we split everything. So like obviously you get your own sides because each meal comes with the same sides, I believe this time. But we'll split the prime rib. We'll split the chicken au poivre, and then there's a brownie dessert for 2. And big scrimp for appetizer.
I used to think that it was the full pronunciation of it was au poivre, and that's how I used to say it. And I thought when they call it au poivre, they're just shortening it.
Right.
It wasn't until the TV show Archer that I realized, it's au poivre. That's literally that's the whole of it. I was adding fluff to it.
Yeah, the extra letters are for foreign language sounds.
There have to be peppercorns. Otherwise, how could it be au poivre?
Words.
It is. Oh, it's so good.
All I know, it's delicious and tastes good and sits very yummy in my tummy.
Indeed.
Definitely. Hopefully, you got meals tonight.
Oh yeah.
Because now you got something to look forward to. I just made a bunch of people hungry.
Mm-hmm. Made me hungry.
Well, if you didn't get a dinner, then I guess you're just gonna have to hoof it on to Peppers tonight.
Yeah.
Get you
Turns out it is on the menu.
It is. You can get it.
So
on the dinner menu.
So I had a bit of a roller coaster of emotions this morning.
Ooh.
Before I leave my house. So here's how I deal with my mail. Whenever I grab my mail, I usually will go, okay, junk, nondescript white envelope, the stuff that I need, and that's kind of how I separate it. So I usually have the nondescript white envelopes, and I'll be like, well, I'll go through those later.
Mm-hmm.
Today was later. One of those envelopes that I opened up stated, and as follows, and I quote, on March 7th, 2024, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia, Richmond Division, granted final approval of the class action settlement titled Sherry Blackburn et al. via AC Israel Enterprises et al. Civil action number 3.22 CV-146. The distribution plan set forth in the settlement agreement determined you are eligible to receive payment. This check represents your share of the monetary distribution from the Sherry Blackburn settlement.
Ooh.
And attached to this,
let me guess,
was a check for $93.72.
Oh, dang, that's more than I thought. I thought you were going to get like a 9-cent check.
$4.75 or whatever. So I'm like, oh, cool. You know, like that's a insignificant amount of money.
A nice little windfall for the day.
And I was set aside. I'm like, cool, I'll take care of that later. And then I just grabbed the thing up again, and I just happened to kind of glance down to the even more readable bold print at the bottom of the sheet.
What do you got to do to cash that check?
This check must be cashed by August 4th, 2024.
Oh.
After this time, we will be unable to reissue any checks.
Missed it by this
much.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was a real roller coaster of emotion, man.
You were like, you already had that $93 spent in your head, I bet.
I was portioning it out. I'm like, okay, maybe I can make my rent payment this check.
Thank you, class action.
Thanks, lawsuit. And slap to the face.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the settlement's for. Like, I have no idea what class action thing I signed up for.
So, moral of the story, open your mail in a timely fashion.
Open your nondescript white envelopes, folks.
Just because you think they're bills, someone might have slipped in it's like the Monopoly card.
It is.
You gotta
bank error in your favor. You won't know unless you're looking.
That's right.
So every now and again, open the community chest.
That's right. You know?
Take a chance.
That's right. You might get free parking.
That's right.
Did you get a new shirt?
Yeah, actually picked this up last week.
I was sitting there. I was like, hey, that's not a shirt that usually is in the Sean rotation of shirts.
So here's what happened. I was going out of town over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at planning things.
So you forgot to pack?
I didn't forget to pack. I forgot to wash clothes to pack. So on Friday, before I left, during my lunch break, I hoofed it up to Walmart and basically bought a new wardrobe. Socks, underwear, a couple of shirts, pair of shorts, a pair of jeans, so just a general ensemble.
So let me ask you this.
Here we go.
Did you pull the ultimate move and take your dirty laundry to Cruces with you?
No. No.
You should have.
She doesn't have laundry facilities either. Oh, see, this is something that I haven't talked about on the air. Her house, it's an awesome place, but the place that she's staying, it's historically was farm housing for the folks who used to work the fields. So these houses are, the only way to describe them is adorable.
Okay.
They're
quaint.
They're quaint. No, not quaint. They're. It's very small.
Tiny.
I have to. It's just like with your house. I have to duck to get into her.
Now
her
she's
front
short,
door.
so she probably.
Oh, it's perfect for her. That's what I was
Right.
literally saying. For her, it's an apartment. She was so excited that she could reach up and touch the ceiling. Like, that was exciting. But then I went.
It's
like
nice
this,
when you're.
and literally I was there. So it felt like Alice in Wonderland. Like I was looking for the little cup that says "Drink Me."
Yeah.
Just so I could get back down to normal size.
It's all about perspective, man. There's days because I get it. There's days where I walk in, I'm like, oh. Touch the ceiling. Mm-hmm. I'm not that tall.
Right.
I'm short.
The top shelf doesn't feel so top anymore.
I'm short average.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I'm not like short where people are like, man, you're short.
Right.
But I'm not tall. I'm 5'8".
So you don't stand out as being an under tall person.
Yeah, I'm just short average.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not a tall person.
Right.
I'm not like shorty short. I'm average short.
I don't really consider myself to be a tall person. I'm average tall. Like you said, you're average short. I'm average tall.
Yeah, like
In
6 foot is average
Yeah,
tall.
and then I skew a little above the average.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who, if you're trying to get something off the top shelf at Walmart, I'm probably your guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And see, I'm in that world where I can navigate myself. Like, I generally don't need stuff off the top shelf unless it's like an incredibly high warehouse or something. And at that point, I just look at those things in life and I didn't need it anyway.
I don't need them anymore. No, man, that's why you got to get yourself one of them grabbers.
Well, and I have been known in my younger days to scale those things like a rock crawl to pick something off the shelf.
I've seen too many TV tropes where the shelf just, and it's just a domino effect of all the shelves.
Oh, I don't do it unless I study the shelving first. I'm like, yeah, this is good stout quality. I'll be able to climb it. Or no, I will end up, on the floor with a bunch of product if I do this.
Ayana, and I quote on the chat,
yes,
it's a desert bungalow. Well, I had to duck below to get under the door frame and forgot a few times, by the way. Skinned the top of my head as a result. I'm like, oh, that's right. Right, forgot.
Oh, we need to get you a helmet to take the cruises. just so, protect the noggin.
Yeah, totally. Head and neck protection, for sure.
Maybe a miner's hat.
Right. Wu-Tang said it best, protect your neck.
I got to be honest. I don't think I've heard the words desert and bungalow together in a word in a sentence before.
First time for everything.
On a dark desert bungalow.
It is true. Ayana brings up a good point in the chat. While I'm the guy that helps you get stuff off the top shelf at Walmart, at least a couple of times I had dropped something over the weekend, and my sound logic was, well, she's closer to the ground. She can get it. And then I go, and that's actually kind of what happened.
And now I'm starting to get to that age where things are at the bottom, like,
that's why you got kids, man.
I don't have it.
It's great. I'd be like, Hunter, grab that for me.
Yeah.
I may never have to bend down again as long as I have subservient children.
Like, you ever been like in your chair at your house, wherever that spot is, your spot, and then you like drop the remote or drop your phone and it's just out of reach, and you're like, well, that's its new home now.
You're like, I guess I'm going to get that when I go to the bathroom. Let's see what else is on.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, have I been there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in that stage of life.
Guess you just live here now.
I think our guest is here.
Yes.
I believe. Yes, Dr. Powell is here. That is our guest, Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Join us here in just a bit as we gear up for starting of the fall semester. Lots going on out at the college. So Dr. Powell give us an update here in just a few.
Very good.
Later in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, your red market update. I gotta be disciplined there, because if I'm not, hey, I don't read an essay. Hey, look at that check, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a look at the weather. You're not gonna like it. It's all hot. There might be a little bit of rain tonight, but other than that, it's all hot.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very low rain chances over the next few days. Sunny and hot today. We're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high. Might be a little bit breezy. Overnight clear and low to mid 70s, and then about the same for Wednesday, although we do have a slim chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We'll stay around 100 for the afternoon high and sunny. We're getting sunshine again on Thursday with low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 79 degrees. Enjoy it now. It'll get hotter later. Humidity is at 47%. I think that's because of that rain we got for 5 minutes yesterday. That was weird. That's what caused that. Winds out of the east, 3 miles per hour. Sunny and 99 for a high today. So maybe not quite 100. Enjoy it, because the rest of the week, not so much. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. We are looking at a 20% chance that we could see some showers and thunderstorms before midnight tonight. Partly cloudy, 73 for an overnight low. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Rest of the week, the 1/0s. Sunny, 1/1 for a high on Wednesday. Thursday, sunny, hot, 102 for a high. Friday, sunny and hot, 102 for a high. Saturday, sunny, hot, 103 for a high. Sunday, sunny and hot, 103 for a high. And 102 on Monday. So the 1-0s after today. There's your weather. See, I know you remember. It's just going to be hot all week. Just remember that. All right, it is 8:19. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then Dr. Sean Powell will join us here with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey Roswell, summer's winding down, but the deals are still hot during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get crazy low prices on all-new Fords and quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. And top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $1,900 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks. And make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months at $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Are bugs eating your garden and mosquitoes chasing you back in the house? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is John from Roswell Seed. You know, we've been battling bugs in Roswell since 1898. And if Jim was here, he'd draw on his immense knowledge and send you home with the right stuff. Chase the bugs out of your garden and the mosquitoes out of your yard.
Don't give the bugs a head start. Head for Roswell Seed Company and find out, what would Jim Gill do?
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925, we have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Dr. Sean Powell back with us from Eastern New Mexico University here in Roswell. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Mike, and thank you for letting me be on the show this morning.
As always, love having you on here, and of course, it's a busy time now that semester's about to start here. Right. So the campus is pretty busy right now in terms of a lot of activity, a lot of people walking and getting ready for the semester. So it's pretty busy right now.
Absolutely. Classes start next Monday, and so lots of enrollment is happening this week, and we'll take enrollment up through next week as well. So if you have an interest in learning what we can offer in terms of classes, either in the arts and sciences, just to get your general education courses out of the way, or one of our career tech ed programs, whether it's health science or tech ed, this is the opportunity to get started this fall.
Absolutely, and it's perfect for, like you said, and now, since the state got smart about, I don't know, eight years ago or so, whenever it was, everything seamlessly transfers in New Mexico now. So if your aspirations to I don't know, get a doctorate at UNM or something, everything you do at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will transcribe, transfer with you to wherever you go in the state of New Mexico seamlessly. And I imagine it's pretty easy too when you go outside the state, but it's completely seamlessly if you transfer to another in-state institution.
Yeah, absolutely. And that common course numbering has made a big difference across the state, and taking courses that all the colleges offer because they have the common number, the same outcomes. And that was a big push and a big effort for all the campuses.
You know what the big difference is? That class is going to cost you about 3 times as much in, say, UNM versus here at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Dr. Powell's like, but he's like, but I can say
I'll believe you.
It's a lot cheaper than here at Eastern to get that same class than if you go, elsewhere in the state.
Absolutely.
So think about that if you're, making your plans. And I've never heard anybody say, you know what, I'd like to pay the most money possible for my educational experience, please.
Right. No, I haven't heard that either. So, no. And, talking about the financing here in New Mexico with the Opportunity Scholarship that the legislature and governor signed off on a couple of years ago, and then also the ongoing lottery scholarship that the legislature sponsors.
Yeah.
There's just tons of scholarship dollars out there for individuals.
Yeah, money is not a hurdle if you want to get an education right now. And so, and that's so if we're putting bees in your bonnet, it's going to be busy this week, but this is a good week to come down, set an appointment with the counselors. They can get you enrolled. You can actually start the process yourself online right now, and then set up an appointment to talk with the advisors later today or this week. And who knows, we can get you enrolled, and this time next week you might be sitting in a classroom, getting ready for your next step in your journey here. So.
Right, absolutely. And just please call the number and get a line, or go on the website and figure out a way to get there and talk to somebody to get an appointment to get down there and talk to an advisor.
Absolutely. And then once that's done, march right on over to the financial aid office, get your FAFSA form filled out, and let them go to work and see how much more free money we can find for you. Absolutely. And trust me, regardless of your background, your financial status, there's avenues to find money for you. It could be maybe from your curriculum, could be from past organizations you've been involved in. It could be no reason at all, just no one's applied.
You're absolutely right. There's tons of scholarships out there. The Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Foundation offers a lot of scholarships that are still available. And if you call our financial aid office on campus, you'll be able to find out about those scholarships. And just there's not really a reason right now that I can think of that someone shouldn't be pursuing higher education if they want to.
Even if you're a millionaire, you don't become rich by spending all your money. You know what I mean? It's like being smart. Use it. This is the time of year where time in your life where you're gathering and accumulating knowledge, accumulating things, and you're not, especially if you're, fresh out of high school or young in the world, most of us aren't rich. We don't got, we're trying to figure out, all right, where's the cheapest place to get dinner tonight? You know what I mean? And so take advantage of this. This is people, and that's it. If you're looking to improve yourself through education, there are so many hands on the other side. If you put your hand out to ask for help, there's so many people on the other side to grab that hand and help you navigate through that process with little or no income. As long as you have the dedication to commit to the thing, you'll find success, and you'll find that doors will open for you.
Well, and talking about that, the aviation maintenance program that we offer, it's one of 2 in the state that are approved by the FAA. A student can go through our airframe and power plant program in 2 years. They can get out, they can complete their A&P license, and once they have that, they can be hired locally at one of the maintenance repair organizations, and there's several on the Air Center, and we work very closely with them in partnership. And the students can get out of our program, go to work for them, and the pay there is about $50,000 to $60,000 a year for the first couple of years.
Absolutely.
And then if they want to, after that, they can move on to the airlines. And my understanding is that's over $100,000 for a qualified A&P mechanic
Absolutely.
with experience.
You're highly in demand, and that's the thing too. Like Dr. Powell's saying, you could literally walk out the door of the campus and walk right into a job across the street here, or if you're like, no, I want to spread my wings, and I know young people, I want to see the world. That career field is in demand on every corner of the globe. If there's people needing to get to other people, and you've all, and this is something I was just telling Dr. Powell. We all kind of, you see the news every night, and you hear, especially around holidays, delays in this, not enough here. You even hear stuff from time to time about near collisions on tarmacs and things. Why is that? It's because COVID put a huge damper in that industry. A lot of people that were kind of on the bubble of retiring and stuff just flat out retired. Others left the industry altogether. But there's a huge need for qualified people in the aviation industry, whether it's AP mechanics to air traffic control to pilots and everything in between. So you have something right here in your own backyard that, quite frankly, you have to travel great distances to get elsewhere.
Absolutely.
And you've got this job where you can write your own ticket on the other side, whether you want to be here close to home and raise your family here and be close to everybody, or if you're saying, no, I'd like to, see the world and, do that. And if you want to see the world and then turns out the world wasn't what you thought it was, you come back home, guess what? More job. It's right there waiting for you. It really is. You're setting yourself up for success wherever you go. In the aviation industry, of course, Dr. Powell and I are both military vets, so we kind of, I know my world was, I was a bomb loader. I worked on the flight line every day, and by the way, the only other way you can get the quality training and everything we're talking about through aviation maintenance is pay a bunch of money at some big fancy schmancy, institution. Sign your name on a contract with Uncle Sam saying you're committing 4 to 6 years of your life in the United States military. That's the other way to do that. Right. And so, weigh your options there. And so you can get it here. And like we said earlier, if you play your cards right, very little money out of your pocket if we, shake the scholarship tree here and work on some of this stuff. We can, you could become get your AP mechanics license and write your own ticket. And like Dr. Powell said, $50,000 to start right out the gate, a couple years under your belt, you're making 6 figures, wherever you want to. And it's really great. And to be honest, you're learning skill sets that translate to other things. Once you get the mechanical inclinations that you learn, next thing you know, I can fix that at my house. I could, you know what I mean? You're setting yourself up for success outside of your job too.
Absolutely. And the way it's set up right now is if a student comes in, spends the first year with us, and then they can get licensed either in the airframe or the power plant side. Once they have that license or certification from the FAA, then they can get hired by one of the local MROs, the maintenance repair organizations, work, and the organizations that we partner with understand the needs of the students because they want them to be fully licensed A&P mechanics.
Sure.
So after a first year of schooling, take that FAA portion of the licensing, get certified and licensed in either airframe or power plant. You're working, you're going to school that second year. At the end of the second year, you're ready to test for the full license, and then they'll hire you full-time and increase your salary across the board. So not only can you make good money when you graduate, you can make good money while you're going to school.
Absolutely.
And that's the partnerships we have with those MROs.
Yeah, because like I said, these industries, these companies, they want you. You're in demand. And if they can get a hold of you while you're still in the process of that's a win-win, because now they know they're getting their quality employee. They can kind of train you a little bit to their procedures and policies and the way they do things. At the same time, when you get your certificate or your degree at the end of the day, you walk right out of the campus, walk right into that building, and set up shop at your new job there. It's seamless transfer. You don't miss it. It's really you're setting yourself up for such success and creating your own opportunities here just by doing something like this. And trust me, the way they train these things, you don't have to have this extensive mechanical background behind you. If you have a desire and an interest and willing to put in the time to learn, they can teach you. So you don't have to walk in there, like if you're like, what's a carburetor? Okay, we got a lot of training to do, but you know what? we can get you there, you know. And
right.
By the way, you don't need to know what a carburetor is for an airplane, but I'm just saying, if you don't know nothing about mechanics, they are the program, the way they train, the way they do it. You know, you don't know what a as simple as a wrench. So, what's a monkey wrench? All right, we'll learn you on what that is.
Well, and that takes me back to Shepherd Air Force Base in '78 when we had that block training schedule and 2 weeks of hand tools.
Yes.
Because everybody has to start from ground zero.
Yeah, they really do teach from the lowest common denominator, and so granted, if you've been turning wrenches your whole life, you'll be able to help students probably in the first couple of chapters, their lessons and curriculum classes. But you'll get, and trust me, so you don't have to have the background. If you just have the desire, the interest, and the dedication that it's going to take to commit to, because you're learning a skill. You got to be open to learning. You're going to a lot of studying, nomenclature, especially if you're not around that world. There's going to be a lot of new nomenclature hit at you and things you're going to have to learn. If you're willing to put in that time and effort, you're gonna set yourself up for big time success here.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things about the Air Center, we have the flights to Dallas now. The reason, or one of the reasons, there's several, but one of the reasons that flight to Phoenix or the flights to Phoenix went away was because of lack of shortage of pilots and aircraft maintainers.
Yeah, it's not a demand thing; it's a lack of resources thing.
Right.
Yeah. Trust me, they know that if they set it up, that there'll be people getting on that flight. We need more pilots. We need more mechanics. We need more baggage handlers. We need more, people working the ticketing side. I mean, all
Absolutely.
of that. It's right here in your own backyard. So,
and just so people know, the average age of aviation maintenance technologists, the A&P mechanics in the United States is 58 right now.
I'm about to say, yeah. Well, and see, it's not even uncommon where someone maybe did 20 years in the military, in the Army or the Air Force or Navy or whatever, Marines, all four got aviation stuff. And then they go work for Delta or American Eagle or whatever, and put in another 20 there because, quite frankly, and here's the difference. Those guys learned everything that you learned and didn't have to, granted, after that, they 20 years, they've got a lot of experience on a flight line and probably, depending on what their job was, in high-pressure situations. So that translates. But you get all that here at the college, Okay, granted, they're not going to be turning a jet to get it ready for war, but there's going to be deadlines. There's going to be, this jet's got to be up in an hour. You've got to get that hydraulic pump swapped out here before it's ready to go. You get trained on all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And that brings me to another point, and this is the 2024 GEO bond. And both the Institute and our campus have requests for the 2024 GEO bond. This is a request to increase the size of our aviation maintenance hangar by 10,000 square feet. What we want to do is increase that hangar size and also increase classroom space and also specialized lab space.
Yeah.
Again, we've been working with the business owners and the aviation maintenance businesses at the Air Center, trying to figure out exactly what they need, whether it's composites
what parts of training that would benefit them the most. And so this facility will give you the equipment and space to do some of these specialized trainings that our partners are requesting.
Right, whether it's composite or electronics or avionics, whichever ones that we can work with once this bond gets passed. And the thing about the GEO bond, this is a tax-neutral effort. What happens is the state invests a bond like 10 years ago, and they do this every 2 years. Higher education has the opportunity to get money for capital projects. Our request is $5.3 million, and the request from the Institute is $2 million to do work on Wilson Hall, to do some improvements there. They're going to look at air conditioning and also some renovations inside.
They kind of, when they get these bonds, their mission, because believe it or not, some of the facilities and stuff are even older over there than
absolutely.
at Eastern New Mexico University.
Yes.
Roswell.
Yes.
Because think about it, Eastern, it's sitting on an old Air Force base, and so that closed in the 60s. Some of it hadn't been touched since the 60s. And then NIMI's been around since over 100 years, so some of those buildings are not only old, but are historic at this point. And so when but they still need to do renovations, and because guess what? they're teaching modern students and modern things. They need modern educational tools to teach in the modern day. And unfortunately, 100 years ago, they weren't thinking of those things when they built these buildings. So a lot of this is upgrading and renovating it to allow them to get into the current century here.
And when you were reading OT 1, OT 2, OT 3, they probably need some more air conditioning over there in Wilson Hall.
Yeah, I was about to say, those are a lot of 1-aughts. And
yes.
Have you ever tried to learn anything when you're sitting at 102 degrees? You don't absorb much.
Pretty tough. But what happens with this GEO bond, the state puts a bond out, and then every 2 years, it's a statewide election. And the question is, really, do you approve these capital projects for the state? There's $230 million statewide in these projects. Chavez County is about 7.3 of that. And these are on the back of the ballot. There's going to be 4 ballot questions this year. The first one will be for senior centers. Second one will be for libraries, and that's all libraries.
And I recommend on those too because, like these bonds, it's not extra money. Like this is money that's earmarked. They're asking that's set aside. You're not going to see an increase in your taxes, anything. That's the thing is people are worried, well, now I'm going to see a tax increase. No, this is money that's already earmarked. We've already, quote unquote, you're being taxed on it already. It's not going to be an increase in taxes. These are taxes you're already paying. We just need to get these bonds publicly approved so they can say, yes, we're willing to give Eastern its money it needs to do its project. And MMI, we want to make sure it's funded. And then conversely, same with these other bonds with libraries and schools. Those cover all libraries, whether it's your city library or the library at your college or your kid's school, and those monies earmarked directly for whatever resources they need at those particular libraries and things like that. Equally important, and same with senior. If same kind of deal, no increase in your taxes, but these are senior centers and senior related organizations that can benefit from this, get money for more programs or facilities, so it's and again, you do not see an increase in your taxes. This is money that's already it's been paid or being paid for. It's not extra money. You will not pay any more than you're already doing. You're just given the green light to allow these, quite frankly, public service institutions to continue and grow, to continue to do good things for you, the public.
Absolutely. And going back to that non-tax, what happens is the state just pulls a bond out of the market. If the election passes statewide in November, then the state will pull that money out and they'll take the interest and then they reinvest the principal. So they know, like this $230 million statewide, they know when they go through this process how much the interest is going to be. They've already calculated that. We have to go through a variety of applications and hearings in order to get here. It's about a 5-year process, and that seems kind of crazy, but that's the way these
that's
go.
Something we should point out too. When you guys do come to the state for these things, they just don't say okay. No, they put a fine-tooth comb for you guys, and finally, after a bunch of gauntlets and it went up and down chains, someone says, "All right, we will authorize that dollar amount for that project at your school or at your institution here." And so trust me. I'm sure you guys probably have had this put on the list for years trying to get in there, and it kind of. I'm guessing is there some kind of like for folks who don't know, like your counties, your cities, they all have capital outlay lists that they and they change and update each year, and so if money comes out of these funds saying, hey, capital outlay, oh look at your list, we'll give you your $1 million for this project here. Do you guys have something similar like this for the bonds here?
So we have a facility master plan. It was developed in 2019. Okay. So this project that we're talking about was actually developed and thought about more than 5 years ago when the facility master plan was developed. And then it was presented to higher education last year. So we have to present it the summer before the election. It's a long process. It goes from a presentation in the summer of 23 to the 24 legislature for approval to be put on the list. The governor has to sign off on it. Then what happens is we have to go to the voters this November. That's why we're in this campaign mode right now for the GEO bond, which will be on the back of the ballot, Bond 3.
I know it's going to be a presidential election, and so I'm going to assume and hope numbers will be record high for these because it's a pretty contentious election. We can all see that. Please, everything on that ballot is important. Please don't just check your president or senator and then not turn over the page, because to be honest, the farther down your ballot you go, the people and things you're voting for will have greater impacts on the day-to-day of your life. Granted, you may feel the top of the list is the most important, but I get it. But in terms of what your day-to-day is going to look like, the people lower down on that ballot and the things lower down on that ballot are going to have a much bigger impact on your day-to-day changes than someone at the top of your ballot. You're just pointing that out to folks. Pay attention. That's my point.
Absolutely. And when you talk about the GEO bond, we try to use local contractors to the best of our ability. We have to go through the RFP process and purchasing processes that are approved, but we like to use local contractors. And so this is going to be $7.3 million in construction
and
in
as
Chavez
much that
County.
is possible reinvested back locally here into our businesses and our community.
Right. So it's not just about improving the institution's ability to provide services. It's about economic development through jobs.
Kind of, growing back within ourselves here. And,
Right.
and again, by the way, every time that's more gross receipts. Your city and county coffers look a little bit nicer when they do that kind of stuff. So it really is, by you voting yes, again, he can't say it, I can say it. Vote yes on these bonds. This one's bond 3 for the institutions here, but vote yes on these bonds because you are reinvesting back into our community by voting yes on it. Just like when these projects greenlit and they use these local, it's all reinvesting back into ourselves by you voting yes here. So if you're one of those folks that we don't have enough nice things, we don't have enough, and then you vote no on this, it's your fault. I'm telling you right now, you need to vote yes so we can continue to get more facilities, more amenities for all of our resources. You want the nicest library in town? I want the nicest library in town. You want the most amenities at your local college? I want the most amenities at our local college. You know how you do that? Vote yes here in November.
Well, and just tying it back to the early conversations, if we can get this increase in size and space, and we want to increase the number of students in our program, just like we're doing with our nursing program,
sure,
with the nursing expansion that we have state funding for, and we're using local contractors for that project.
Yeah.
The whole idea is, hey, let's create more opportunities for local people to be trained so they can go out, earn a living, a decent wage, a livable wage, and set up their careers where they can move forward in a positive manner.
Absolutely. And who knows? Some of those contractors and things, they might have got their training at ENMUR or Job Corps or one of our other local partners around here in town, too. So, again, more investing back into our community and our stuff by doing this stuff. So, vote yes.
Well, appreciate the support, and like you said, I can say vote on.
Yes,
I can't tell you how to vote.
Yeah, and of course, superintendent at NIMI and all the others will say the same thing. But yes, this is how we continue to make sure our educational and our facilities are on the cutting edge and staying that way. So okay, you want to play the get off my lawn moment? Are you tired of traveling and dealing with delays and all that stuff? This is how you fix that one yes at a time by allowing Eastern to vote yes. Vote yes on this, allowing Eastern to really expand that aviation maintenance program to allow to even customize it for more better localization, but at the same time adding to the big picture too. So whether a student walks in and says, I'm just going to go from here to next door, or no, I'm going to take this and I'm going to be the next international pilot or, president of the FFA or whatever it is, everything they needed to get that job done was right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah. And, this last May, I've talked about him before, but our most senior graduate from this last academic year was a guy named Paul Miller. And Mr. Miller was 77 years old when he graduated. He joined the Air Force when he was 17, 18 years old, did a military career, retired, and got his A&P license while he was in the Air Force, Vietnam era vet. And then for 50 years, he basically traveled the world working on different aircraft. Part of that was military, part of it was civilian.
Well, if he's Vietnam era, he probably spent his head so much in an F-4. He probably knows an F-4 better than he probably knows some other things.
Yeah, that's my guess. But he found a brochure. The interesting part about Paul Miller's story is he found a brochure because he already had his A&P license, but he wanted to get his associate's degree because his grandchildren were getting it. But he found a brochure in 2002, on ENMU Roswell's aviation maintenance program. Because if you have your A&P license and you want to get an associate's degree, then you can do that just by taking 15 general credit hours with us, general ed credit. He waited 20 years. He carried that brochure around
He's
for
like,
20
I'm
years.
Do this someday.
So finally,
Puts in the dresser.
Yeah. So finally, he did. And
That's awesome.
2 years later, he graduated.
And I love because in a kind of sort of way, the grandkids motivated him while he at the same time is looking to motivate his grandkids. And you know what I mean? Be an example for his grandkids. Well, at the same time, I'm willing to bet seeing his grandkids go through it probably said, I need to go ahead and finish this up. Or I need it. That was, I'm going to guess, maybe the final convincing to say, no, now it's time for me to complete what I wanted to start.
And it took him 2 years to do the 15 hours. He didn't do a bunch all at one time.
He's got grandkids now. That's a bigger priority. I'm sorry. When grandkids enter the picture, the A&P license was probably a second priority.
Yeah. But he didn't tell anybody. That was the whole thing. He didn't tell anybody.
He didn't tell his family?
He didn't tell anybody.
He did it all in secret. Oh, see, that was definitely to surprise his kids or somebody.
And he waited till the very end when he knew he was going to graduate, and then we filmed him at his home. He sent in a video, and we played that at graduation. And he was 77, wearing his cap and gown, and at his home talking about his life. And his main message was, you're never too old to learn. And
absolutely correct.
He just had a great career, and it all started with aviation maintenance in the Air Force, like we were talking about before.
So, any job offers for the man yet?
I think he's fully retired.
But I'm just saying, industry probably could use him.
Yeah.
That man's probably forgotten more than half the people working on things right now.
Absolutely.
That is so cool, and I love it because it's such an inspirational story, and to remind folks, and I hope there's some people listening out there, retirees. You kind of looking for something, that you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to be this guy and say, no, I'm going for my associates. But you know what? Now's a good time to walk down and said, I've always wanted to learn ceramics. I've always wanted, I want to brush up on history. I should just take a history class. Or you know what? Maybe I've always wanted to write a book. Maybe I ought to take an English class or something to brush up and, get that. If you have a passion, Eastern can help you pursue it. Or if you're just looking for social stuff, take a PE class. Take an aerobics class or a dance class or one of the classes out at the gym out there. Get yourself physically fit and make some friends and do all that. It's you don't have to be pursuing a degree if you're just looking to get enrich your life in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's socially, maybe it's education, maybe it's just looking for a new passion, new interest, new hobby. Whatever it is, Eastern can help that too.
Right.
We always talk about young people and this is the step to get on to what you're trying to do, and you got to get. But if you're on the other side, like, I'm retired. I'm looking to get into things, and quite frankly, my kids are tired of getting in the way sometimes. I need stuff to do. Make Eastern that thing to do stuff to get involved. Who knows? And there's a lot of nonprofit stuff through the college too. If you want to get involved with maybe some of the pantries and stuff, there's a lot of student sources to help resources. Maybe volunteer time at that in between classes and stuff too. There's a lot of different ways to kind of enrich your life as a senior through Eastern New Mexico University.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I will just remind folks we are going to have the Turkey Trot again Saturday, November 23rd, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Donations will be going to the Salvation Army and our food pantry on campus. We'll just split that up, and then the Humane Society will be benefiting from dog and cat food. So it's a 5K on a Saturday, fun run walk, and what we really look for in that is, again, donations to the food pantry or dog and cat food for the Humane Society. We'll be getting out more information to the community about that as we come closer to it.
No one's thinking about turkeys quite yet.
Thinking more about how do I get through the summer without.
Right, absolutely. By the way, with Salvation Army, don't forget, here locally, I think it's the second Saturday every month, they do their pancake breakfast out there. All you can eat pancakes and stuff for donation, I think like $7 or something. It's very cheap. But all that goes back to Salvation Army and what they do. So if you want a cheap, maybe cheap's not the right word, an affordable breakfast that really helps the community here, I invite you to, I think it's the second Saturday of the month. The second, they always do breakfast every Saturday morning out at the Salvation Army out there. Sure. So definitely put that on your radar. eat some great pancakes, and it's like a whole buffet of like breakfast. I'm like, how do you make money on this? I don't know, but
yeah,
and it's like $5-10. It's very, very affordable. So, but anyway, great way to support them too. But if you can't wait till turkey trotting, right. Roswell.nmu.edu is the official website for Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. If you want to kind of do your own digging and reading about some of the stuff Dr. Powell and I have been talking about, you'll find it all right there on the website. If you want to start the process and enroll, look at the course schedule here. If you're already a student and you're enrolled, you can sign up for classes and do all that online too. You probably should have done it earlier. You had a better selection rather than wait until the week when everyone's trying to do it. But if you slipped on that, life happens, I get it. Get her done this week. You can do all that through the website too. I also like to say, especially if you're a student and you're on social media, Eastern New Mexico University has a couple Facebook pages to follow. I highly recommend you like and follow those. That way, Dr. Powell's on one of them doing his chats from time to time and things. But obviously, anytime there's a closure or delay because of weather or whatever, that's usually the first place that kind of information goes to. So as a student, you want to stay plugged in, and that's a pretty good resource to do that when you're outside of the campus.
Absolutely. Yeah, Martha Stab, our marketing and PR director, does a great job with posting things on social media and putting things out, information on the campus.
And even if you're not a student, I highly recommend you like and follow it, because there's a lot of community-related events and community things that, are for the public and not just people that call the campus their day-to-day home here for the next year or two.
Right.
Good deal. Is there anything we missed, Dr. Powell?
I don't think so. I appreciate the chance to be here again.
Anytime. And, of course, we'll talk more about these bonds here between now and November. But just note that if you this is how great things happen at these institutions. This is how we get the cutting edge. You see the aviation industry and where it's at now. This is how you make your small part to come correct some of this stuff. Vote yes, because for Eastern's case, this bond's directly going into their aviation maintenance program to revamp, renovate, and add to the program here. So it's all good stuff.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it, Mike.
And we'll see you here next time, if not sooner.
You bet.
Don't work too hard. Stay cool. The one-outs. Remember, they're all about it.
Right.
All right. It is 8:56. We're going to take a quick commercial break before news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. Following last week's comeback rally, stocks struggled to maintain that momentum during Monday's session. In July, the federal budget deficit grew by less than expected amount. Later this week, lots of inflation data is due, and that's something traders will be closely watching. Tomorrow's CPI report, in particular, something to look for. The July PPI due today, as well as the NFIB Small Business Optimism Index, Index. July's retail sales out Thursday, and all of that will be studied in concert with the July jobs report as traders try to make sense of the economy overall. The New York Fed's 3-year inflation outlook came in at 2.3%. That's the lowest in the data series going back to June 2013. In commodities, U.S. crude oil standard West Texas Intermediate futures rallied 4% and went over $80 a barrel amid heightening tension in the Middle East and with the Pentagon expanding military presence there. In company-specific news, regulators say SpaceX repeatedly polluted waters in Texas this year. Starbucks finished higher amid some moves from activist investors, and Canada's Scotiabank plans to buy a 14.9% stake in KeyCorp, valued at around $2.8 billion. That's the Market Report. I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Red Apple Audio Networks remembers Lou Dobbs.
A lot has changed since Goya launched its coconut water. Leg warmers in the 80s.
Here we go. 1, 2, turn around.
Dancing lambada in the 90s. And in the 2000s, waiting hours to connect to the internet. But what hasn't changed is that Goya coconut water continues to be deliciously refreshing and has that sweet tropical flavor you love so much. Goya coconut water. So good, it's always in style. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Concern in the West regarding a potential Iranian attack on Israel. The BBC's Joanne Nell says the Israeli Defense Forces are on high alert.
The Israeli military says it's monitoring developments, but hasn't changed its safety guidelines to the public. The US, which has sworn to help defend Israel against what it has said could be a significant set of attacks, has built up its military presence in the region in the past few days.
Former President Trump planning to return to the scene of the attempt on his life. He plans an October rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It says that by the grace of God, he survived what was a very close call.
If I hadn't turned my head, I would not be talking to you right now, as much as I like you.
Mr. Trump talking to Elon Musk of the X platform. Musk says a cyber attack delayed the 2-hour Trump interview by about 40 minutes.
My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers and saturated all of our data lines, like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated.
Mr. Trump blasting Kamala Harris on a range of issues, everything from soaring crime to the troubled economy and the wide-open southern border. Harris still has not submitted to an interview with the news media. Wholesale inflation rose a bit less than expected last month. The Labor Department's Producer Price Index edging higher by 0.1% from June, up 2.2% from 1 year ago. Ukraine's top military commander says his forces now control almost 400 square miles of Russian territory in the Kursk region that borders Ukraine. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 172 points, the Nasdaq 275 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
that are used in their electric vehicles.
The government says disclosure will be voluntary, but it says the information hasn't so far been available to the public and hopes the move will help ease growing consumer concern. This month, an electric Mercedes exploded in an underground car park in Incheon, setting more than 100 cars ablaze and forcing nearby residents to evacuate. Mercedes is among several car companies to have now named the maker of batteries used in their EVs. But experts say while the information gives consumers more choice, without knowing which brands are more prone to fires, it'll do little to improve public safety.
The BBC's Electra Naismith. Pakistani and Afghan Taliban forces have traded cross-border fire near a key northwestern crossing, killing a woman and 2 children on the Afghan side. There's been no word on casualties on the Pakistani side of the border. News and analysis at townhall.com. It's a case of being wise enough to know when it's time to throw in the towel.
A man attempting an epic 80-mile swim across Lake Michigan said he gave up on the third day after losing 2 batteries for a critical GPS device and ended up badly off course. 60-year-old Jim Dreyer was pulled from the water last Thursday on the third day of his swim to Wisconsin from Michigan. Dreyer said he probably swam 60 miles by that point. He decided to stop because of bad weather ahead. He also said his brain was mush. Dreyer crossed Lake Michigan in 1998, but 3 attempts to do it again since last summer have been unsuccessful. Keith Peters reporting.
One bellwether of the health of the U.S. economy, Home Depot, is scaling back its financial outlook going forward. The giant home improvement retailer citing anxiety among contractors and homeowners about the state of the economy. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Miracle.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
Hope your day's going well.
You are correct, sir.
It's hot.
Yeah. Gonna be,
but today's actually the cool day.
Yeah.
Like today's 99.
Uh-huh.
After today, it's 102, 103, 104. And then there's rain chances tonight.
To really soak up those double digits, everybody.
Yeah. So today's kind of our good day, weather-wise. So.
This is the one.
Yeah, this is the one. Whether you want it or not, here it is. And although maybe, just maybe, we'll get another one of those sun rains this week. That was kind of nice.
It's a unique thing you just don't see everywhere.
Now, granted, I went out about an hour later to take trash out, and it was muggier and all get out there. But yes, it was nice for a minute.
Yeah, just for a time to be outside and not feel like I wanted to punch a baby. Yeah. You know, it's a nice feeling.
It is a nice feeling.
It really is.
Hey, speaking of you said punch a baby. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but it did. I'm behind the 8 ball on this one, but I found a show that I'm kind of digging.
Okay.
And I'm glad, and I mentioned it to you yesterday. I've watched about a half dozen episodes. Now, there's 3 seasons of it on Netflix. Louder Milk.
Right.
And if you're not familiar, and I wish I was better with people's names, but it stars the main dude from Office Space, whatever that guy's name is. He was also in Band of Brothers. He's been in a couple other things, but I think most people know him as the main character from Office.
It's like Rob something.
Yeah. It's him and
Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston. Yes, that's his name. Thank you.
Ron Livingston and Will Sasso.
Mm-hmm.
Will Sasso, maybe from Mad TV fame.
Yep.
He's in a bunch of TV shows and movies. But most people, I think he got famous from Mad TV.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and so the premise of the show is Loudermilk, and that's his last name. I can't even remember his first name. Something Loudermilk.
He's a sportscaster, right?
No, he is. You're thinking. That
was the other show. Yeah.
No, he is a substance abuse counselor.
Okay.
A alcoholic, and he himself is an alcoholic, and so the show picks up where he's a substance abuse counselor, and he's got his group at the church.
Sure.
He lives with Will Sasso, who is his best friend / sponsor / roommate. So he's all of the above. He's his friend. He's pretty much his everything.
Right.
Kind of the two. And so they live in an apartment complex. And so the premise of the show is just his life. And kind of think of it a la a Curb Your Enthusiasm or any of those and so he's going through his life and you go. And so, but here's the thing about Loudermilk is he's very, to what the kids would call today, based. He's very based. He's blunt. He's rude, but his heart's in a good place.
Sure.
That makes sense. And so that's basically the show. And it is a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I watched a couple more episodes yesterday. I watched a couple over the weekend because it was, matter of fact, it was when I was a cloud call. Kim had went to sleep and I looking for something to watch for a little bit. And so I watched like 3 episodes of Loudermilk and I liked it. So I started watching a couple more but so far it's good. It's funny. And there's twists. I'd say there's a little bit of twists and turns and yes and no and things. And like, I want to say one, but because it's a big thing, but it's kind of like I've watched, like it's a kind of a twist moment in like the second or third episode. And you're like, oh, okay. Now, that's not what it appears to be and all that.
So it's not like a dark comedy, or is it more
it's a little dark in that some of the comedy is dark. Like, it's, kind of think of some of those HBO Barry or when they do those shows and it's, it's got some of those kind of jokes in it. But it's pretty well written. But it also has Curb Your Enthusiasm like moments.
Energy.
Where he, like he does things that snowball to do other things. And you're like, what are you, dummy? You know, and it's kind of... Oh, and in his former life, Loudermilk was a critic. Like, he was a famous writer. Like, he wrote for Rolling Stone, and he wrote books, and he was a music critic, I think is what his actual genre of writing was. And so he kind of was I'm guessing I might learn more as the show goes, but I kind of think in his former life he was a bigger deal than what he is today. Like he's got an ex-wife. Right. And the ex-wife, he got in a car accident. And this was his moment of clarity when he realized that he's got a problem. And so that's where it, you don't see that, but you learn as the show goes, that's why he's where he's at. And so I think prior to that moment, he was probably a pretty rich dude, probably pretty well connected. And then his alcohol put him where he's at today, where he's a guy living with his sponsor in an apartment and, being a drug counselor. And that's kind of where he's at.
I haven't seen much of the show. I'm really curious to get in and check it out. But the one scene that I saw that Mike actually showed me yesterday.
Oh, yeah. See, it's those kind of comedy. That's dark comedy. What I mean,
you're basically
like, that's wrong, but oh man, is it funny?
There's the scene is, and I won't try to spoil too much because it wasn't spoiled for me. It's just a guy who has very short and small arms.
Yeah, T-Rex like
arms. They're very T-Rex.
He's a normal sized man, by the way. He's I don't know my height or something.
And he was passed over to be a NFL referee, I believe it was.
Well, no, that was the joke.
Right.
The funny part is the man's occupation. He's a drummer for like a semi-famous 80s metal band.
Which, the thought of T-Rex arms going at it.
And matter of fact, like the people in the group had heard of, like they had like one hit in the 80s. And so people knew, he was, but they were like, what music? You're a drummer? Really? It's kind of like, really, drummer? And it's like, what they are? He's like, he goes, did you have really long sticks? And he's like, no, I had regular 8-inch sticks. But anyway, but the part of that joke is there's a new guy. And so that guy with the arms, who's the drummer for the former, the new guy, he starts getting philosophical with him, and he goes, I think I was being discriminated against. He goes, I applied for a job as a football referee. And and he goes, I studied all the calls. I studied the sport. I know it back and forth, but they wouldn't hire me. I think they're racist. And he's like, what do you mean you think they're racist? And the guy's trying to be like, you don't think it's because your arms are short and you can't do touchdowns?
You can't make a touchdown.
Yeah. He didn't want to say that, and he goes, I think they discriminate against me. I think it's because I'm British and they think football and I know soccer. I know all the rules. And he's a British, obviously, the guy.
Holding.
And then finally, the guy goes, well, what happens if they get a touchdown? And he goes, I can do that, see? And he goes like that. And that's when everyone gets the guy the dirty look. And finally they said, I'm just screwing with you, man. And everyone starts laughing.
But this is the weird part about yesterday and how things tend to sync up. Because that happened, and then... more excited than I think I've ever heard Mike in my entire life. I heard Sean. I'm like, what? He goes, did you know the Savannah Bananas have a pinch runner named Zion Clark? I just looked up the name, Zion Clark. Now,
this blew me away.
When you imagine a pinch runner, somebody whose whole job it is to run the bases for a batter who otherwise cannot. What's the one thing you think that person needs? Skill? No. Ability to play baseball? No. Speed? Sure. A working set of legs? Absolutely.
You'd think.
You would think.
One of the key needs in running is legs.
One of the happiest moments of my entire life was learning that the Savannah Bananas have a pinch runner whose whole body is his arms and his torso.
Yeah.
Dude ain't got no legs.
There's no legs at all.
And he is a pinch runner for the Savannah Bananas.
And he's like he doesn't have some leg. It's the whole leg's gone. There's not even it's literally at the torso.
It's like the jersey is hanging at the end of the body. And to see this man move, I mean, it's really impressive. I would love to see him break dance.
Oh yeah.
I would just love to see him work, but the guy can haul. And honestly, if you think about it, unless it's like a grounder, I mean, he's pretty hard because you got to dip to tag him. So it's kind of a bold strategy.
Yeah. Now, so what Sean's talking about, there's a clip of the Savannah Bananas in their game, and they bring this man in as a pinch runner.
Yes.
So he didn't have an at bat. Right. I know all you people. How does he bat? I don't know either, but he didn't bat.
We don't address that right now, okay?
But he got on base, and then the guy got a hit, and man, did he take off from first to second. It almost looked like a CGI movie.
Yeah.
But it's a real dude running on his hands to second base.
And it's amazing.
And
I'm finding the clip. I'm going to post it up over on the 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page so you can check it out for yourself. But just trust me, it is absolutely one of the best things you'll see all day long today. Right. This guy on two arms.
Someone gave me a glowing review on Loudermilk, said it's a reverend show, but excellent.
This guy can run faster on two arms than I could ever dream of running on two legs.
Yeah, I was blown away by it. I was okay. Part of me was a little creeped out. I'm not going to lie, because the way he runs, it's almost like some kind of horror creature, like Insidious.
It is.
If you're in a mansion and something scurries from under the bed, this is how that guy moves, and you're like, it's kind of scary.
I bet this guy is fantastic in a haunted house.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh, he would be the star of the show.
Or as a magician's assistant.
Oh my gosh, he would be amazing, because he would have people all kinds of freaked out.
Yeah. You know how many times this man's been sawed in half?
Oh, I know. Just him scurrying around on his legs.
Right.
I mean, it'd be a horror show. I'd be running out of there crying.
I posted the clip ups over on the Facebook page, so feel free to go check it out. But it's amazing. It's the best thing I saw all day yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And because at first before I called Sean, I was like, is this not
right? This is a Photoshop.
First I'm like, this is some shenanigans, and I was like, no, this is legit. Because at first, because it's the Bananas, and I know the Bananas do this. They will bring people that you don't expect can do things and do amazing things, like they They had the dude on the stilts, and they have females. They had a female banana player come in there and whip dudes' butts in baseball.
That's the funniest part. It's like they bring in freaks. They bring in dudes with no legs. They bring in women.
Yeah, that came out wrong. That's not how I intended it to come out. I'm sorry.
Even women.
That's not what I meant. I apologize. You're right. That does come off bad. Sorry, that's not how I intended it.
Some dude with like just a nub and then a woman.
Yeah. They bring in just differences, things that's so un-baseball like. That's.
I wonder if this guy isn't like a full-time player. He's just like they were going through that town, and that was that person's special bit. So they put it on display.
Sure. Well, even they got like the one guy who's actually decent in baseball, but he's more decent at juggling and balancing and flipping things than he is at baseball. So it's more of that kind of thing. So it's But yes, I
dudes who can do the double bat twirl and then get a hit.
I'm not going to lie. If I would like to see this guy have an at bat, I want to see if he can do that, and maybe he can't. That's why they don't. I would like to see that.
You got to imagine bat in one hand. You got to push off the ground, hit the ball.
Well, and you use more than your arms to bat. You need your whole body
for the follow through
to move it. And I just don't know if he's got that kind of leverage or pendulum to move. To crank it.
I genuinely hope this man makes TV, because the premiere of Savannah Bananas is this Friday.
By the way, this Friday night they're on True TV.
Yep.
They're going to be airing 5 Savannah Banana games. 2 of them will be at Grayson, their home Grayson Stadium in Savannah, Georgia. The other 3 are at other cities around the country. But on Friday nights on True TV, look on your satellite and cable providers to find that. Y'all should have it. They'll have. They're going to be carrying 5 Friday night games. Now they play games in between and all that, but they're televising on national TV 5 of their games beginning this Friday, and it'll be the next 5 Fridays after that. So I hope that guy is a part of the telecast.
That would make my whole weekend.
Yes. Amy McVeigh-Tejas is here, so she's going to join us in just a bit for the Historical Society. Tonight is the night. Tonight. Oh, that's my best Phil Collins right there. Is Heritage Dinner as we honor Troy Hayes. So, if you were lucky enough to order a box or a dinner bundle, tonight's the night you're going to be eating good. So make sure if you got your dinner boxes that you beginning, I believe, at 5:30. We'll confirm that here in just a minute. You can start coming by the Historical Society and getting your tickets, and then heading on over to Pepper's to pick up your meals and then head home. And, of course, if you did get the dinner bundle or deliveries, expect a knock on your door around 5:36 this evening with someone. Let them in. They've got delicious food for you. You're going to want to answer that door. I promise we're not trying to sell you anything. We're not trying to give you any copies of the Watchtower. We just want to give you delicious Pepper's food. So let them in. But that's all tonight. And then, of course, so we'll talk with Amy here in a little bit, talk about Troy Hayes, all that good stuff here in just a few. But, yeah, tonight's the big night for Heritage Dinner as we honor Troy Hayes and his great work for his scholarships and just his philanthropic, that's the word I was trying to say, efforts and things that he does. It's good stuff. All right, before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and take a gander at your weather. It's just going to be hot. That's just what it is. Here it is. Just get through it.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very low rain chances over the next few days. Sunny and hot today. We're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high. Might be a little bit breezy. Overnight clear and low to mid 70s, and then about the same for Wednesday, although we do have a slim chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. We'll stay around 100 for the afternoon high and sunny. We're getting sunshine again on Thursday with low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 83 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 44% with winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Sunny and hot, but not as hot as later in the week. So I'm trying to give you a glass half full scenario here. Sunny, 99 for a high today. Winds will be out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying we have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. An 80% it won't be, but a 20% chance that we see some showers and thunderstorms before midnight tonight. Partly cloudy, 73 for an overnight low with southwest winds 5 to 15. I know we're going to be standing outside for a little bit tonight, but we need the moisture, and it's August. I'm willing to get wet. I'm okay with it. It's not like the winter wet. It's a hot wet. You might even appreciate it. So, but anyway, so I'm not going to complain if it rains tonight, but probably won't. For the rest of the week, though, just a bunch of hot. Sunny, hot, 101 for a high tomorrow. South winds at 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny and hot, 102 for a high. Southwest winds at around 5 to 10. Friday, sunny, hot, 102 for a high. Saturday, sunny, hot, 103. Sunday, sunny, hot, 103. Monday next week, sunny, hot, 102. So that's what I'm saying. So now that I say that, I'm kind of like, please rain tonight, because we're not going to see it for a while. Maybe it rains at like 6:30. 6:37 after we're done out there for the most part. Or it rains. No, that won't even work. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is a thing. Maybe we will cause it to rain tonight. Amy has made a point. We did have a few the parting of the seas right after a heritage dinner or two there, where we packed up and left, and get home and it starts raining. So maybe tonight's that night. Maybe God's little gift for us this evening. Well, God, between like 3 and 5, 6:37. Don't. We'll take your present after that. All right, it is 9:24. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then, like I said, Amy McVeigh is going to join us. We're talking Heritage Dinner, Troy Hayes, all that up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Are you walking around with a space in your mouth from a missing tooth? Are you having difficulty chewing? Or are you holding back on your big smile in those group photos? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. Did you know that we provide dental implant treatment for our patients? We can help you replace one tooth or all your teeth with dental implants. Why not call our office today? Set up an appointment and let's chat about options that will boost your confidence and allow you to live the life with the smile you want.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Hey Roswell, summer's winding down, but the deals are still hot during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get crazy low prices on all-new Fords and quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. And top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, so you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $1,900 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks, and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months to $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us officially in the studio this morning, Amy McVeigh with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico back with us. And I bet you're wondering why he's wearing a headband. This is hot and sweaty in here. No, we're going to celebrate a champion tonight.
That's right.
And champions have medals.
That's so right. We got our medals.
These medals. Now, mine aren't Olympic medals. This one's for running. My mouth. This one.
Oh, goodness. What's the next one? So hurdling through life or whatever, pivoting through life?
This is actually a silver in the hot dog eating. Joey Chestnut took me at the end, but I was right behind it. But yeah, this is my running my mouth medal.
Oh, if my husband's listening, he's going to wonder if I got the golden running mouth or you did. Okay, Ralph, if you're listening.
I got an Olympic record in mouth running. Not only have a gold,
you get paid to do so.
I don't have the world record. Someone's got me beaten.
Mine's just recreational. Right. You get paid to do it. You're a professional mouth runner.
Mouth runner. right. I run on the weekends. I mouth run on the weekends.
Awesome.
And the evenings.
That's awesome.
But no, we're doing this just having fun. We're really, because yes, tonight is all about eating delicious food and everything else. But we want to remind you why we're doing this. We want to remind you that the man that we're honoring at this particular Heritage Dinner has provided the path or the ability for so many people to create a foundation for themselves as they move on to their transition to adulthood and those next phases of their lives. There is so many people that are living in this, not just in our community, but in this world, that have taken advantage of the Troy Hayes scholarships over the years. So many people that have gone on to become great pillars in either our community or wherever they're calling home now. And a little sliver, that's because of Troy Hayes. Now, I'm not going to give Troy all the credit. These are fine people that did a lot of hard work and busted their humps to get there. But Troy kind of opened the door for them, allowed them to be them. And that's what this Troy and what he does, and that's what it's all about. It's allowing, he just wants to create the pathway for people to pursue their dreams, pursue what they want to do with their, and that's why the Linda Hayes Trust that his family and he's been continuing to have go all these years, and we as a historical society are just blessed and lucky enough that he uses us as the conduit to do that. Right. Trust me, yes, we do the selection and he puts all that in our charge, but the only reason we're able to make the historical society look good, that we do all this kind of stuff, is because Troy Hayes says, here's the money, make this happen.
That's
please.
right. That's right.
What happens.
Yay!
Single-handedly make sure that we have the ability to do that.
That's right. I was talking to Troy Mike, and he was talking about how many years, he's just been part of our family. And I think, again, that's just a testament of who he is and being a silent servant. Many years ago, and I can't tell you how many years ago, we lost Joyce Ware. She had been our accountant CPA for many years, dedicated board member. And when we lost her, and of course, still in celebration of Joyce Ware, we still have Kathy Mendiola on our board that worked with Joyce for years. So Joyce is continuing to bless us.
We do
also
have a few backups in the mix there.
That's right.
In case the starters go down, we have a few to move in.
But Troy came, just immediately came and got involved, and then over the years we've, so we haven't met the 10-year mark yet with Troy Hayes. We've been giving scholarships, but a couple of years after we had started scholarships is when Troy got involved. But I think it's just a true testament of who he is, honoring his wife through it all. Right. And Mike, today it's Troy Hayes, so Troy Hayes Day. Yeah. It's all about Troy. And I saw him when he was going in the office, and I said, it's all about Troy today. It's all about Troy. So on his
by the way, he'd be with us, but he's busy helping people.
He's literally on his day. He's got clients there 9:30, not listening. Of course he is. But we left a blessing box on his desk with some fresh bread. Thank you, Margaret Lackey.
Yummy.
So if you're listening and have purchased Heritage Dinner tickets, only while supplies last, we've got the famous Margaret Lackey bread. And yes, Troy Hayes got some.
Oh, excellent.
So if you
go through tonight,
yes,
first come, first serve.
First come, first serve.
Now,
fresh bread.
We want to remind people that we will start serving or start the line at 5:30.
5:30 is safe.
I know people like to come early.
Right.
And I appreciate your punctuality on this one. We don't want you getting here too early because what happens is if too many people come too early, then we create a line in the street, and then we're a traffic problem and everything else. So please, and I promise you, you will get in and out quick. We're quite good at zipping people through the line here. We'll make sure you get your bread. If you want to make a loose change donation or do any of the other stuff through the drive-through there, we'll get you in and out quick. But please do not start arriving until 5:30 tonight, just so we don't make our neighbors mad and block up the streets. And do all those kind of things.
That's right. And we will have, Tina Williams and Kent Taylor will be providing entertainment right by our flagpoles. So when you drive through, we'll have some great music. Huge shout out to Tina and Kent.
I missed them last time. I'm glad they're back this
time. Tina's certainly, her and Bill both are just such a great part of our family at the Historical Society. And Kent, to me, represents so much talent, treasure, but also the legacy of the Roswell Livestock family legacy, too. So it means a lot that they're going to be there. They're going to hang through that heat, and we'll have beautiful tents. And while I'm thinking about it too, Mike, we're collecting loose change. We're taking donations, but collecting loose change. Clean out those cars and pour purses and bring you loose change. Don't let the vacuum cleaner suck them up. That's right.
That's right.
Yes.
Because I know. And those guys make a good living. I remember I knew a guy when I was younger that he emptied the vacuum cleaner. That guy would get like hundreds of dollars in change just from.
So don't do that. Support the Historical Society.
Absolutely, give it to the and because we believe it or not, we've over the last couple of years
we have
thousands of dollars in terms of loose change, and that goes to these programs. It goes to keep the maintenance up on that facility. When we have our Sunday Fun Days or our fourth grade tours, that money contributes to those programs and things like that. So thank you very much. And that loose change is really it kind of helps because it's the way there's no earmarkings for it. You know, sometimes we get grants and things and it's like, oh, we got this flux of money, but it's got to be used for this.
That's right.
This is our, fill a gap in the wall line. If we, if we something that in need that crops up emergency, great. We got this money that's been earmarked. That isn't earmarked for anything particular. We can put that at so we're so grateful for you dropping off your little sacks of pennies and all of that.
Your little Ziplocs, coffee
it's
cans.
Awesome. Families do it together. You'll see the kids, and they literally got a Ziploc baggie full of loose change, or they'll have like the old Maxwell House coffee can that.
It's amazing what we can pack in there.
They made that logo anymore. You know what I mean? Like
they did. I love it.
They haven't used that logo in years. I love it. But that's so great.
It is.
That families did
It really is.
And I guarantee every Heritage dinner, there's one or two families that have their sack of change. It's usually more than that. But
for sure.
But at least one or two every time that they drop off their sack of change. And we're so grateful and thankful for those folks.
Every little bit helps.
Save a little bit of loose change to get some of that bread.
It'll sell out for sure. And I can't tell you how many we've taken inventory to make sure that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just saying I'm not a man to go to life of crime. But what's going to turn me? It's going to be me stealing like some bread like that. Like I'll be like, oh, money, that bread is worth going to jail for. I'm going to take it and go. Now, don't do that. I'm saying of all the things that might tempt me, that bread might be on that list.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But trust me, that's what tonight is, and I want and by the way, the meal you're going to eat tonight is all chosen by Troy Hayes. This is all Troy's favorites from Peppers here, and so we really and this is all per his request. We could have done a full dinner and come out and had
the drive-through,
and we get speeches and the whole nine. But Troy said, no. I want to turn this back into how can I do this to find a way to serve more people.
That's right.
And so that's what we're doing here is we're making it as simple as possible, make it convenient. Nah, you ain't got to get dressed up. No, you don't have to listen to a bunch of speeches. Come out, have a delicious meal, and take it home with your family and enjoy it together.
That's right.
That's what Troy wants.
And in the request of Troy, and a little bit, not to give much away, because we've got great little swag bags or goodie bags, but part of that, it was intentionally, again, put forth by Troy. Number one, he had to have biscuititos from El Toro Bravo's Bakery.
Well,
yes, ladies and gentlemen, they're in the bags.
Oh.
And huge shout out to El Toro Bravo Bakery. We appreciate their support.
And it's the Historical Society's fault that I'm hooked on those like crap. I had them there the first time, and now every time I'm like, you got any more of them?
And they are fresh.
Like a crackhead.
They're fresh, and we love them. But also in the bag too. Troy is very intentional on a couple of requests, and again, everything has been in Troy Hayes, from the Southwest flair of things to the drive-through to the mill. But inside the bag, he requested something, and he, if you don't get our newsletters, and by the way, if you're not a member of the Historical Society, become a member so you can get our newsletter. There you go.
You can be you can do it as a couple, a family, a business.
Yes.
We have many levels, and you can do it for as little as what,
$30. And Mike, I get questions all the time, and I'm thinking, well, you should be a member of the Historical Society because that was in our newsletter.
Yeah.
But one of the requests that Troy made is he wanted to encourage people to think THINK of the special person or people that have impacted their life and thank them THANK. So in our bags are little thank you cards encouraging people to do that. I want to encourage people, if you are not able to be part of the Heritage Dinner for whatever reason and Troy Hayes has impacted your life, or you have a scholarship recipient, please call the museum 622-8333. You could email me at historydirector@outlook.com, or you could mail a thank you letter to 200 North Lee. We've already got a full box of blessing cards, and I'm collecting more.
And you're going to present him?
Some are in the mail.
So
I just haven't gotten them.
So you're going to do like a Santa move and just like come in with this sack of correspondence and say, Troy,
it's on his desk today. Mike
awesome.
dropped. So there was a big trunk, and it was parents. It was people. I want to say a special thank you to the Jennings family. So the Jennings family stepped up. They're dear friends with Troy Hayes, and they've allowed us to provide additional scholarships.
Oh, awesome.
Those scholarships will be blessed to New Mexico Youth Challenge
inspired
County.
by Troy to do 100%. A little bit of the same. And that's what Troy wants.
That's what he wants.
Troy wants to inspire others to do what he does.
Yes.
And that's what we love about this. And so, and to be honest, whether these folks choose us to go through it or whatever their favorite, we don't care.
That's right.
We just want
to create
impacting
and celebrating.
Because we're all on the same page. We're all trying to live and become and make this the greatest community possible.
That's exactly right.
And that's how we do it.
Mary Ellen Johnston, the Alfredo Garcia family, they're additional individuals that have stepped up to allow us to provide additional scholarships in May. So I can't tell you what that means to us. Lodwick family just gave a donation. I say these names because it's not about us. It's about just honoring, impacting, and we've talked a lot about Troy. If he was listening, I know he does that in honor of his wife. That actually he was the first recipient.
Yeah.
Troy Hayes is a golden individual. He's a silent servant. I know he really wouldn't want us to talk about him, but I think the impact is so great, meaning I'm going to have to buy another trunk to put the other cards in there.
Well, that's an awesome problem to
Mike,
have.
I got an email last night. The first recipient from Fort Sumner of the scholarship, she is now living in Australia, working on her PhD.
Put
and
a couple extra stamps on that letter, by the way. It's going to cost more than one stamp.
She has 2 children, and her husband's in the service. Her name is Tamia Higgins.
Okay.
Fort Sumner.
Is that how she lives in Australia?
Yes.
Okay. I was
yes.
Like, there's got to be a reason
she is a stay-at-home mom working on her PhD. And straight up, he was the first one to give her a scholarship, and then others aligned. She was highly decorated, top of her class in Fort Sumner. But that's one story of so many. We just got a letter from Amazing, I call him Amazing Stokes, now at NEMI, just get out over there. And he was talking about the impact of what it meant to have the support of Troy, not just his money, but to know Troy was supporting him. And literally, he's right across the street.
Sure.
And he said that meant a lot. So I just can never say thank you. And Mike, I was trying to put on a thank you card.
Sure.
How do you say it all? When we've impacted through You Challenge, 60-year-old men going back to school, young kids that didn't get anything got something from Troy. It is not about us, and if people wonder why we're doing what we're doing, it is all about history. And if you ask, what does this have to do with history?
All of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has everything to do with history. And just for the record, we still have our first ever scholarship we ever gave was in humanities, and we will still give that and never stop giving it. But it's just expanded, and this is history.
Study of people.
Of every walks of life, and that's another thing.
Just
he wants to celebrate the top of the class, but maybe somebody that has their testament that's just lucky to graduate that has a story. The list is long and distinguished of what he's done to impact our kids.
When you folks that sit, go have coffee with your buddies at one of the restaurants and you sit and talk about, remember when so-and-so was over here? And that's history, folks. You're talking history.
Yes.
That's all history.
Raquel
Just
Treviso.
because it's not in a textbook or not taught in a classroom does not make it not history. Everything's history.
Everything's history.
Everything's
Raquel Treviso is a graduate of Dexter. She's now working on, she'll become a doctor herself. It's these sweet kids that have gone through great loss and tragedy, but at the end of the day, they're part of our family now.
Absolutely.
Our family has grown, Mike. That's what I was thinking about. We have a big family.
Well, that's just
and we want it to grow.
And that's kind of, obviously, in the time before, I'm sure, but definitely certainly since you've been a part of the historical, that's always kind of been that mission is to be the heart of this thing. And yes, it's all history, but you're creating the family, you're creating a community, and this is what we're a society that is studying our community of Southeast New Mexico. And sure, because the buildings here in Roswell, we got a lot of Roswell-centric stuff. But by all means, I mean, with our partnerships with Donna and our Eddy County folks and all that,
and Leadership Roswell, we're getting ready. Those things are growing. Got the new Leadership Roswell class coming. They're fixing to be here.
Absolutely.
But one thing I want to say, and I don't know how much time we have, but one thing that's very important for me is Troy Hayes has done so good to just help us be proud of who we are. And something else I want to say in honor of Troy Hayes is the Historical Society is not perfect. We're imperfectly.
Nothing ever is. We're all God's
We work
creatures
hard to do the best we can with what we've got. But I'm going to tell you something that Troy would tell us. We are determined, and our board is determined, to rise above all circumstances, every different personality, to come together. And I want to challenge you, whether we've had a little hiccup at the museum or we may not all see things eye to eye.
Sure.
If you're listening, we just want to work together for the good.
Absolutely.
Anybody and all. And let's do that in honor of Troy Hayes, because he tells us all the time, Amy, we work hard and we do great things.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
And it's really a kind of a mirror of life.
It
the
is.
Historical Society, we're just, like you said, we're just trying to do good things, trying to make, blessings available to people, opportunities.
Yes.
Yes, preserve history and all that. That is very much a part of all of that too. But, like everything else, like you said, it's as long as keep trying, we're going to screw up. We might even screw up some things big time bad. But the point is, it's not, and this is that life thing. It's not about the screw up. It's what you do about it. And how okay, we screwed up. Well, we got to put our nose to the grindstone and fix it and continue forward. We don't let the screw up be the thing that ends what we're trying to do.
No, and we're going to stay late and work hard and do right.
Yeah.
And everybody that knows me and our board knows we work hard. If we're guilty of something, it may be, if I'm guilty of something, it might be staying too late.
Sure.
Or if there's such a thing, working so hard.
Well, that's
that we do. We work hard to do.
And I'm not bragging. I'm not or anything, but I people that tend to do a lot of things suffer from that thing. It's hard for us to say no sometimes, and I get it because I don't want to say no, but sometimes I'm like, I'm overstretching myself. My brain is not in the right place anymore.
That's right.
I'm, I got to take care of me, and let's face it, that's something that people that serve constantly forget. So if you know those types of people in your world, we all know one or two that are constantly given. Usually it's to their own detriment.
It's true.
You be their conscience then. You be the one and shut them down and tell them to have a seat and
take a break.
Take a break.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. Get some help.
Let's
all work together.
From that. But that being said, continue to do that. And it's a fault that, yes, we get it, but it's one of those things. I get it. You want to help, you want to keep doing, you don't want to say no because like you said, there's always somebody that needs help. And yes, we can do our programs and thump our chest at the end of the day. But then you go and you see there's someone that needs a meal. There's someone that needs something. There's always ways to help. There's always we're never done or satisfied. It's always to the next thing.
That's right.
And so you just got to keep that positive mindset.
That's right.
Keep helping where you can, but remember to take care of yourself and stuff. So that's that's really what the Historical Society is about. Yes, we're not going to please everybody, and quite frankly, when you get into some circles like this, some people get involved in this world for reasons that aren't always the most upstanding.
Right.
And you have to deal with those things from time to time, like we do. Sometimes it causes problems. Sometimes things are said and done that aren't necessarily accurate. Right. However, we can't worry about that stuff. And that's
we can't.
Kind of what
we're going to rise above it all.
When we screw up, we're going to fix it. And if someone's accusing us to screw up, we're just going to not play those games and keep going about our day.
We're going to rise above all of it. But if you weren't able to be part of the Heritage Dinner, it is never too late to donate in honor of Troy Hayes for scholarships. And let's be clear, this is an award dinner first, fundraiser second. It's not all about us bringing money in. If you give money, it will be earmarked directly for scholarships.
And if you ask Troy, the more important part of this thing is the money. It's not
honoring
him. See, that's the thing. We look at it as like, no, we're honoring you. And he's like, forget me.
That's
How much money can you make off
Well,
this?
and that's right, whether it's scholarships or
Yeah.
whether it's a donation or whether we pay it forward or whatever we do.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. But some of the other...
I thought I lost one.
Oh, they click together.
Yeah, they're like
See,
magnetic.
Mr. Overachiever there. You've got a couple of...
I was like,
but,
how did I lose a medal when I'm just sitting here?
But other passions, we've talked a lot about the Historical Society. When I talk about Troy, he has a great passion for art.
Mm-hmm.
He has a huge passion for our library. That is close to his heart. He's got a huge passion for UTEP. And he loves New Mexico Tech. I have to mention those things, and if you've never been in Troy Hayes' office, the love for his art and his wife are so evident and radiant throughout.
So is he a
all that.
UTEP alum?
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
He's a UTEP minor.
Yes, yes.
By the way, those minors are the ones that go in caves, not the ones that are under 18. Just to
Right,
clarify.
that's right.
Their mascot's
That's right.
not an under 18
Oh,
year
just
old.
fun facts about Troy. That's right. That's true. That is true,
Well, you
though.
know,
And we've had kids go to UTEP
You
too.
joke about that, and I swear I didn't put, we have PSAs for because we have little windows and stuff, so
Sure.
sometimes we have to fill breaks. And if at the beginning of the month there's not enough paid ads, so we have PSAs that play, and there are various ad council ads, hey, find your, don't waste water, or those things like that.
Right.
So one of them was for minor safety. And I went through 3/4 of the commercial listening to it before I realized they're not talking about youth under 18. They're talking about actual people.
Minors.
Like they're talking about safety. And really it was generic at the beginning. I was like, oh, okay. And then they were talking about digging, and I'm like, what's that got to do with under 18-year-olds? And I was like, oh, the wrong minors.
The
so
minors.
I legit...
the official. That's funny. That's funny.
Anyway, sorry, I got us sidetracked here. But yes, tonight is the night. So if you did purchase a box, don't forget, come get it, or there's going to be a knock at your door if you did get the delivery here.
Yes, so
that
we
will be happening
are,
now.
just a reminder, if you're listening, our deliveries start at 5. We
Okay.
will be delivering between 5 and 6. Do not start the pickup till 5:30. You can pick up between 5:30 and 6:30.
Yes.
If
And-
you have any questions, do me a favor and call my cell phone, text or call me 575-915.
Yeah, she's not going to be exactly in the office much
No,
today. She'll
we've
be
got
out
a lot
and
going on.
about,
But 575-915-4471 is my cell with any questions. And all in the name of Troy, we could go on all day about Troy. But just, it's an honor to
and
celebrate
here's the thing
him.
is we do all this honor and celebrating,
Mm-hmm.
and here's the thing. This is, as long as he's physically able, he's going to continue to do this. I just know enough to know about this
Yes.
guy that no matter what, if he's able to do this is what's going to happen as long as he can. So now we are honoring and celebrating for his many years of this, but we're also pre-honoring here because
It's
he's
true.
going to keep doing this hopefully for the next 20, 30 years, as long as he's physically able to do it. That's what's going to happen here. So that's what we and like I said, again, he looks at this as no honor, nothing. He's like, all shucks, don't worry about me. And he's literally like, how can you make more money out of this event? How can you turn this into a bigger blessing for the historical
It's true.
society?
That's what he asks me every time he sees me is, are we making any money?
Yeah. Yeah. Which,
Well, we do have to keep the lights on. We do.
yes,
Pay the water bills
and
and
we do
everything.
appreciate
do.
that because quite frankly, people like us, and I'm not one, and I'm one of these people. Money doesn't drive me per se. I'm not a money driven.
Right.
I like money. I like buying things. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I don't define happiness
Exactly.
is how financially stable I am.
Right.
That's not a high priority for me.
Right.
And because of that, I don't think the way people do sometimes. So sometimes I'm not thinking about the next way to keep the money
Right.
going. I'm just
Well,
through
it's
the moment.
true.
And so guys like Troy are very needed to say, hey, don't forget the big picture, guys.
We got that budget, and where are we at with the budget?
Where the creative types are kind of like, they'll spend 2 hours arguing over blue or red, and you're like,
Right.
who cares? Do you have the money for it?
Right, that's the bottom line.
We need all those people.
Yes.
And
he helps us to always focus on the bottom line.
Absolutely.
And you're right.
So
You're exactly right.
That's the great thing about it. So come see us tonight. We'll be out there, out at the Historical Society, like I said, 5:30, everything. Or you might get a knock on the door, and John LeMay or one of our other board members might be coming to
Look
your
for the
house.
neon shirts. That's right.
Yes, they'll be in the neon green shirts.
Yes.
If they're not, if you see a person in a neon green shirt and they're carrying 1 to 2 bags of
blessings, as we say, with a lot of blessings.
Yeah, I guess with 5 boxes, you probably need 2 bags for that. So
yes, they're going to have some bags. Yeah. That's right, home bags.
See that person walking up, let them in.
That's for sure.
Good. They're there with good stuff.
And thank you to Peppers. Thank you to Peppers for that well-oiled engine, always coming through with amazing.
And they're so flexible.
They're
I'm
so
sure
awesome.
We are a huge pain in the neck for him.
We are. You know they are. We are.
And he just keeps on serving and helping.
And Troy is near and dear to their heart, too. He's a dear friend, too. So, again, it's going to be a great night.
I'm sure those guys are cussing under their breath at us sometimes. Like, another one! But we so appreciate it.
That's right. To the end, we thank everybody for making this possible. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and we'll post that. Thank you to every single person that has blessed the kids or helped make a donation or purchased. We thank everybody for helping make this possible. We really appreciate it.
And I got a funny feeling he's probably not listening because he's working. But
that's true.
But Mr. Hayes, thank you for what you do and what you'll continue to do. I know none of this is what you want per se in terms of being in a spotlight. However, part of this for me is like, it's not for you.
Right.
We're using this to show other people, quit being, be an inspiration. Be like this guy. We're kind of using you as a poster child to inspire others to do what you do.
He was a little bit reluctant at first, but he's even enjoyed it himself. Just reminding, and thank you to everybody that's helped us pay it forward. Mike, I've lost track of how many meals we've paid it forward. A lot of our meals tonight will be pay it forward people of giving.
People want to help, but they can only eat so much.
That's true. Well, that's true. Got a great point there. We can only eat so much.
It's like, then I got to contribute less because I got to pay more medical costs because I hate eating.
Well, and thank you to you guys for your support and everybody that's just helped us celebrate.
And we're just a little part like everything else. Everybody does their thing, and there's so many people that are on the board, that are not on the board, that are just volunteers, that they do their little part to make these things happen. And it's all vitally important to the one person who just came in to park car or help guide cars, to the person that's doing the flyers and the things for the event.
Yes.
Are people that may have served in the past, but life is taught they still continue to serve in a different direction. These are the people that deserve the thank yous.
That's right.
All that. Because
thank you.
They are the unsung heroes that do it because for nothing else, their love and passion for doing it.
That's right.
They're not looking for recognition. They're not looking for any kind of kudos.
That's not what it's all about.
Money, nothing. They just want to do it because they want to see this thing work.
That's right.
It's a good thing. So
all in the name of history.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
I know you got a bazillion things to do after this, so we'll let you go do that.
All right. Thank you.
And I will see you later this
Great.
afternoon.
Look forward to it.
Absolutely. All right, it is 9:55. Let's pause for Wall Street Business Update. Quick break. I might even work news before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wholesale price increases eased last month, suggesting that inflation pressures are lessening as the Federal Reserve moves closer to cutting interest rates, possibly beginning next month. The Labor Department's Producer Price Index rose 0.1% from June to July and 2.2% from a year earlier. A bellwether of the health of the U.S. economy, Home Depot is scaling back its financial outlook going forward. The giant home improvement retailer cites anxiety among contractors and homeowners about the state of the economy. Starbucks getting a new CEO. Next month, Chipotle's chairman and CEO Brian Niccol will take the helm at Starbucks, which has been struggling of late. Its shares jumped more than 13% ahead of today's opening bell on Wall Street, where the Dow, Nasdaq, and the S&P all opened higher. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Here's a look at your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We have learned an Eddy County man is arrested and jailed after being accused of firing gunshots at a local prosecutor's home. Tracy Demery has a long rap sheet dating back to 2002 for things like forgery, car theft, and tampering with evidence. He was out of jail on bond in a 2022 possession case when court documents say back this past February he drove to the prosecutor's home and fired through her fence toward her home. Police said Demery admitted to the shooting because he feels like the prosecutor has a conflict of interest because she's married to his probation officer. The New Mexico Environment Department is withdrawing a $1.2 million fine against El Paso Water as part of a lawsuit settlement, according to a news release from El Paso's water utility. In 2022, the State Environment Department issued the fine and 2 administrative compliance orders claiming that EP Water violated portions of the state's surface and groundwater protection regulations. The utility, it claimed, discharged raw sewage into the Rio Grande. The company contends that it did so due to a catastrophic failure of its pipeline system to prevent wastewater from inundating homes, businesses, streets, and in an effort to protect the public health. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true. Trusted.
So your trees are turning yellow. You scratch your head and think to yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is Shirley from Roswell Seed. If Jim were here, he'd tell you all about something he called monkey blood. It's a powder that turns a deep red when you mix it with water. You pour it on the ground under your tree's drip line, and in a few weeks, they'll be healthy and green once again.
So when things aren't green, just ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do? Then head down to Roswell Seed Company and find out.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58. Got about a minute here before we wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of the show, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you will find all of our interviews there for you, ready and waiting. And, of course, the interviews we had today, right after the show, Jocelyn will separate those from the main part and then post them separately. But we replayed our interview with Barbara Gomez from Main Street Roswell in the 7 o'clock hour. That is there right now. You can go check that out. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had Dr. Sean Powell join us from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. We talked about the upcoming bonds, Bond 3. Vote yes for that. And we talked about what that's its impact on the aviation maintenance program there at ENMUR. Of course, this is the final week to sign up for classes. They're underway next week, too, as well. So, talked about that. And, of course, we just had Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us with the Historical Society talking about tonight's Heritage Dinner. And our honoree this year, Troy Hayes, had a great conversation with her. You can go back and check that out, ksvptv.com. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Till then, take care. Have a great day, everybody.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden has been discussing Middle East tensions with